Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. I am Tom Schmitz. I'm with you in hour number one. Hour number two, Buddy Martin joins the show. He's also joined by Kent Gwynn for Coffee with the Mayor. We're also efforting to try to get Councilman Jay Musley on in the 4 o'clock hour. And then the 5 o'clock hour, Ira Schofeld, Florida State Seminole warchant.com editor. He's the managing editor of warchant.com, covers Florida State athletics. He'll be on with us today talking what can only be described as a fiasco that's going on in Tallahassee at this time, with the recent dismissal of one player and the indefinite suspension of another player, both for alleged battery on a female. So Ira Schofeld will stop by on Buddy's sports page to talk about that. Before we went to break, I was, a little serious, a little angry, which is me normally. But now I want to lighten it up a little bit and tell you about an article I read on Yahoo Homemakers by Bob Vila. Yeah, that Bob Vila from This Old House. And, he always comes up with cool ways to use stuff, household items and all around the stuff that you have commonly around the house. And he has unique ways that you could use them. He has unique ways to use household stuff around all day that you may not know about. And so I read this article, and this is about one of my favorite things around my house. And he's got 7 uses that you may not know. 7 surprising household uses for beer. I'm a big fan of beer. I'm going to be honest with you. According to the Beer Institute, this is the column from Bob Vila. According to the Beer Institute, the making and selling of America's favorite alcoholic drink, beer, is a $264.5 billion industry a year. So it's probably safe to say most of us have a bottle or 6 in their house. You can drink it, but the golden elixir, according to Bob Vila, goes far beyond basic imbibing. He's got 7 ingenious ways to put beer to good use. Way number 1, you can kill slugs with beer. Who knew? These they nibble on your garden plants. But they can't resist beer, he says. To cut down on their numbers, bury jam jars so the rims are level with the soil. Fill them with a few inches of beer. Slugs are drawn by the aroma, will crawl in and meet a death inside the drink. So you can slay slugs just by burying some, jam jars up to the rim and filling them with a little beer. Make like a little golf hole in your garden with 6 or 8 of them and put beer in them, and slugs will go in there and it'll kill slugs. This one seems crazy to me, but he says it works. Polish a wooden table. He says, Bob Vila says, next time someone leaves you with a half-finished bottle of Bud after a backyard barbecue, save it to use as an all-natural wood polish. Applying flat beer to wooden furniture with a soft cloth reportedly gives the wood grain a fine sheen. He says, but test it first on a hidden part of your furniture before you slop the beer all over it. Number 3, you can shine fine metals with beer. If you're lucky enough to own copper pots and pans, use a bit of beer on a polishing cloth to buff away the tarnish. This homebrewed remedy also works on other brass items such as lamps, doorknobs, and grill work. I did not know that it would clean up copper, but it seems like beer, with a polishing cloth and some beer, you can take tarnish off. Now, this one sounds a little crazy to me, but Bob Vila, he says it works. Pamper your lawn. When your lawn is looking a little gray or anything, yellow, try feeding it with a homemade fertilizer. You can find success with a simple and surprising concoction of beer, ammonia, and baby shampoo. It says put beer, ammonia, and baby shampoo together. It'll rid you of pests in your grass and give you a healthier, greener grass. The 5th thing you can do with beer, make your faucets sparkle. Shine up your water faucets. Carbonation, the fierce factor in beer, works wonders on dull faucets and handles in the bathroom. Try it out. Fill a plastic bag with flat beer. tied around the taps or sprouts that have long lost their shine, removed after a few hours of soaking, and enjoy newly sparkling fixtures. I didn't know that. This one is one I'm going to try. Keeps bugs at bay. Keeps the bugs away. When entertaining outdoors, pour a bit of brew into shallow bowls and set them on the perimeter of your deck on a patio. Rather than pestering your guest, winged insects like wasps and flies will be drawn towards the beer's sugar, not towards you on the back porch. That makes sense because you always see the wasp and everything. When you're outside doing an outside barbecue or something, you always see the wasp flying around. They fly around the entrance to your beer can or your beer bottle. So that makes sense to me. And then finally, the seventh use, and I don't know about this, but Bob Vila, he says it works. He says, it'll bust rust. He says if rust has locked a screw in place, try dousing with a fresh, fizzy beer. The carbonation will break down rust just enough to allow the screw to be loosened. Turn the screw as needed, and as it gets tighter, maybe put a little more beer in there, but it's supposed to. Now, I know my dad used to pour beer on battery terminals that were corroded, and he'd get all that corrosion off battery terminals, and I know you can do that with Coca-Cola as well. So Bob Vila's 7 things you didn't know you could do with beer. You could loosen up rusty bolts and screws, keep bugs at bay, make your faucets sparkle. You can use it as a lawn fertilizer. You got to mix it, of course, with ammonia and baby shampoo to do that, though. You can polish your fine metals like your lamps and your copper pots and your doorknobs and stuff. You can use it to polish wood tables. This is one that I found amazing, that you could use it as an all-natural wood polish. And then, of course, you can also slay slugs with it by burying some jam jars all the way up to their opening and put a little beer in the bottom of it. The slugs will be drawn to the smell, and they fall in and they die. So there are 7 things you can do with beer around your house. He left out the 8th thing, though. The 8th thing you can do with beer around your house is just enjoy it and drink it. How about that? Sitting a lazy boy watching a good golf match or good football game or a baseball game and just drink the beer. There's an idea. Hey, Target is under fire. I'll tell you about that after the break. Plus, there's a breakout of there's a disease that I thought was not anymore even on the earth, but it's doubled. The breakouts have doubled here in Florida this year over last year. And then, you never understand how somebody can be out of money, but there's one guy that says, I really didn't have the money that I acted like I have. I leased and rented it all. I'll tell you who that is after the break. Coming up in hour number 2, Buddy Martin joins us. It's Coffee with the Mayor. Mayor Kent Gwynn will be calling us via phone. He will not be in studio today, but he will be calling in. We're also trying to get City Council President Jay Musley, see if he will join the show in the 4 o'clock hour. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, I'm really looking forward to this because Ira Schofeld of warchant.com, he's going to join the show. And as we all know right now, it's tough in Tallahassee with the allegations of battery on women that are facing 2 football players, one that has been thrown off the team, another one who's been suspended indefinitely. And, it's never good. These allegations are never good. And we'll talk to Ira Schofeld of warchant.com to just get exactly what the feeling is up there in Tallahassee about these players, because it looks like that Dalvin Cook is indefinitely suspended. And, I've heard people recently say Dalvin Cook's not going to miss it. Dalvin Cook may be suspended a game, but Dalvin Cook will be back on the team. So we'll talk to Ira Schofeld about that. Coming up next, though, I'll tell you why Target's in hot water, with some people anyway, on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
People make all kinds of mistakes with life insurance, like having some coverage but not enough to keep your family in the house. Or only having life insurance through work and then losing your job? Want to avoid those mistakes? Get an Allstate agent. They can help you get the coverage your family needs at an affordable price. Are you in good hands?
Hey, this is Kevin McDonald. Make your family your priority. Let's get together and review your life insurance today.
Life insurance offered by Allstate Life Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois, and Lincoln Benefit Life Company, Lincoln, Nebraska.
Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Do you experience body aches, joint, or muscle pain all over your body? Does it keep you up at night, interfere with your day, and leave you feeling tired and in pain? You could be suffering from fibromyalgia. Renstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study of investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 18 and 75 who have had widespread body pain or tenderness for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication at no cost. Compensation for time and travel will be provided, and insurance is not necessary to participate. If you experience body aches or suffer from fibromyalgia and would like to find out more information about this fibromyalgia study, please call Renstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Renstar Medical Research, 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Fox News Radio, I'm William Wu. Growing calls for a Justice Department investigation into the death of a woman in jail days after her arrest for a traffic stop, which escalated into a confrontation.
Get out of the car now, or I'm going to remove you.
And I'm calling my lawyer.
I'm going to yank you out of here.
Okay, you going to yank me out of my car?
Texas officials, meanwhile, denying that the dash cam video they released was doctored.
A spokesperson with the Texas Department of Public Safety tells me that not only was the video not edited, but they also say that the FBI watched it before it was released to the public to ensure its integrity.
Fox's Casey Stiegel. They're said to be connected to a Twitter account that carried threats in the name of the Islamic State group, and now Italian prosecutors say they've got the suspect.
Accused of plotting to attack an Italian military base, which also has a U.S. military presence. One suspect is Tunisian, one is Pakistani.
Fox Radio, Simon Owen. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? At the same time, over 40% of all sports, concert, and theater tickets go unsold. So how come we're all paying so much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, we guarantee you'll save on great sports, concert, and theater tickets. And we're not talking about last-minute nosebleed seats to events you don't want to see, but millions of great seats for the best events, days, weeks, even months in advance. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges ever. There are lots of places to buy tickets, but if you really want to save, then check out ScoreBig.com.
And now save even more at ScoreBig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 1010, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's ScoreBig.com, promo code 1010.
Each morning, we wake up thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood. And when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind. With a custom treatment plan that really works, I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Who doesn't love heading out on the boat with a family, hitting the ATV trails with friends, or blazing new stretches of highway with riding buddies? Your toys are your ticket to outdoor fun. At the McDonald Allstate Agency, we get to know you and help make sure you have all the right coverages. Plus, when you bundle your coverage for your car and your home with your boat, motorcycle, RV, or more, you can save up to 30%. So call the McDonald Allstate Agency today at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations at Calla Hills or the Jasmine Square Plaza.
Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary. Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. It is Wednesday, July 22nd. 2015 on a now sunny, hot and muggy Wednesday afternoon. Well, at least it's sunny here at the Paddock Mall studios of WOCA. Somebody told me the other day, I said it was sunny, and they were like, well, where we were, it was pouring rain when you said it was sunny. And I take into effect that it could be raining on one side of Ocala and not raining on another side, raining somewhere in Marion County, not raining here. So I'll just say it's sunny, hot, and humid here at the studios of WOCA Radio at the Paddock Mall in the Brick City, beautiful Ocala. Now, I don't know how many of you shop at Target, but I go into Target every now and then. I don't really like Target or Walmart that much because they're just too massive and too many people, and I think I'm on record saying I'm not real fond of people. So, because people, for the most part, lack common sense. So I tried to stay at mom and pop smaller places and everything just because there's fewer people I have to interact with. Well, it seems like the people of Target lack common sense, or at least some people are saying that. Target is selling a t-shirt at its stores and on its website. Many customers are claiming that it is offensive to women. It's a black shirt with bold white letters, costs $12.99. Customers have been posting the photos of the t-shirt, which some say they spotted in the junior section. It's been all over social media. They've been just people just killing Target. The shirt's been on sale since June. One person wrote on Target's Facebook page, "Dear Target, why are you selling shirts that describe women as obtainable objects? It's honestly appalling. I sincerely hope that in your eyes, women are more than something to be won." Another woman enhanced those sentiments, say, "Lose outdated, ridiculous attitudes towards women. It could help everyone, Target including." What's the shirt say? In big white bold letters across it, it says, "Trophy." When I saw the shirt, I chuckled and instantly thought, I could see how women would not like that. Making reference to a trophy wife or, an object that a man owns as his trophy to show that he's a man. I could see where people would not really feel like Target was taking the feelings of women into play here when they were selling that shirt. I just think just take the shirt off the market. I don't know. Things like this happen. People miss stuff like this all the time, and somebody will think, "Oh, that's a pretty good shirt." One woman sent a tweet out to Target, says, "At Target, under what circumstances should any human being wear a shirt that indicates that they're the possession of someone else, as in a trophy?" And once again, common sense says that person's right. Somebody at Target missed this, and they shouldn't. And I know some of you are going to say, well, the whiny feminists, that's all this is. But, I mean, I'm not buying that. I'll tell you what, the only woman I have to worry about whether it offends or not is Jennifer. And I promise you that wouldn't be in a gift bag going to my house, because she would hit me on top of the head. There'd be some domestic violence art at my house, and she would knock me out probably. So, Target said the shirt is part of a collection for brides, despite the claim by many customers it was being marketed towards teen girls. It's never been our intention to offend anyone, and we always appreciate receiving feedback from our guests. The trophy shirt is part of a collection of engagement and wedding shirts that are available in our women and plus-size departments. The collection also included shirts that say Team Bride, Mrs., and Bride. These shirts are intended as a fun wink, and we have received an overwhelmingly popular response from our guests. So it's geared towards women who are getting married. So now you're really saying, hey, you belong to the man. I'm not real sure that explanation helps any, Target. But Target in hot water. Florida facing a disease outbreak of a disease that I thought was only something you read about in the King James Version. You know, they had the measles outbreaks at Disneyland in California this past winter that's got everybody fired up about you got to inoculate everybody, which Lori Martin Gregory, who used to be on this show, she's out there leading the cause towards not doing mass inoculations. But all that started because of the measles scare at Disneyland. Then there's a plague that appeared in Colorado earlier this year, and now Florida has seen a spike in leprosy. Yes, you heard that right. Leprosy. I didn't know leprosy was still around. Florida has seen 9 leprosy cases this year. That's up over the average of 3 annually, according to the Florida Department of Health. An expert says the reason for the outbreak? Armadillos. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, armadillos are naturally infected with leprosy. The small animals are naturally nocturnal, but they're in their breeding season. This according to the University of Florida. As a result, they're out more during the day when they may come into contact with people. The CDC says the risk of contracting leprosy from an armadillo is low. It also states if you decide to see a doctor due to armadillo contact, you should tell them the full history of contact you have with the creatures. But leprosy isn't restricted to small outbreaks. 7,000 people are now being treated for it in the U.S. They see about 200 new cases a year. Now, I've heard of leprosy. I knew that people in the Bible, Jesus healed a leper and everything, according to the scriptures. I know that. But I didn't really know what leprosy was. Leprosy is a disease of chronic bacterial it's a chronic bacterial disease that mainly affects a person's skin, peripheral nerves, and upper airwaves. It has symptoms ranging from numb red bumps to physical disfigurement. Leprosy is a historically feared disease. The Hawaiian Islands of Molokai was a leprosy colony in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Leprosy is treatable, though. People with leprosy are given antibiotics for up to 2 years, depending on the severity of the case. So, but there's up triple from what happened last year, and they say armadillos are to blame. I didn't realize that leprosy was even existent on the face of the earth anymore. But also, I'm not going to go run out and try to pet an armadillo's belly either. So I don't think I'm in any chance of getting leprosy. The people that are affected with it, believe it or not, though, are adolescents and those over the age of 30. So that's a wide range of people that can get affected by leprosy. And I guess it's because your immune systems can't fight it as well as you should. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says 65% of the new cases in 2014 were reported in California, Florida, Hawaii, Louisiana, New York, and Texas. So should you really be worried? The experts say no, but just keep a handle, a watch on it, just so you make sure. I didn't even know it was a disease that was out there, and now I find leprosy's still out there. Let's go out to the phone lines and join Buddy Martin. Hi, Buddy. How are you? You're not petting your pet armadillo right now, are you?
You know, I had forgotten about the armadillo aspect of it, but you're right. It's not something I associate with leprosy, and it's one of those biblical diseases you hear about a lot, although there are still leper colonies. Many years ago during the Super Bowl, I think it was around the L.A. area, I believe, some writers went out and did a story on leprosy, leper colony. So it was a horrible disease that it is. But, yeah, I mean, that's not something you think about today, for sure.
It's not.
We used to have a lot of horrible diseases, Tom, that have been wiped out one way or the other, which is great, you know. So
yeah, polio was pretty much wiped out. The measles, you can still get them, but pretty much wiped out. So a lot of terrible diseases.
Now, people will argue about whether or not it's really wiped out and how much the vaccine had to do with it, including my daughter, who thinks that the vaccines were not necessary. But I lived it, and I lived it during the polio scare, and I knew people that, you know, had it and what have you, and it was a horrible thing. And so I just know this much. I don't see any polio around here anymore, so something happened good. So.
Certainly. So, Buddy, now we got the mayor coming up at hour number 2, right?
Well, he's checking in from Palm Beach on the phone. We'll check with him. You know, that ugly word, that T-word, taxes, came up. It looks like the council has raised some taxes to help pay some fees they have to pay, and we'll talk to the mayor about that, and also talk to Jay Musley. Councilman Musley hasn't been on the show in a while, and thought we'd get his take on some things as well. So we'll have them, and of course at the 5 o'clock hour we'll be talking to the guy who's probably the most knowledgeable Florida State Seminole observer and journalist, and Ira Schofel. And by the way, I just got confirmation, booked for next Wednesday at 5 o'clock, the head coach of the national champions Ohio State Buckeyes, Urban Meyer, will be our guest next week. So they have to keep on coming, Tom.
Well, we got Ira Schofel coming up today. We got Urban Meyer coming up next week. Now, if we could just find this missing in action guy out in Hawaii, we'd have the full gamut.
Yeah, Terry's taking a little time off. He's getting ready to. I think next week's going to go on his invasion in Asia. He and Henry Winkler and George Foreman and William Shatner. So he hasn't surfaced, but he will at some point. And can't deny him a little R&R and a little time before he goes on a month-long trip across Asia. So I don't know how well he's going to fare on that, although everything is 5-star accommodations. My wife Joni thinks it might not be so good, so we'll see.
We'll see how it works out. You know, he gave us a promise that he would call us from Asia. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm getting no bets on Bradshaw until about September for me. I think he's kind of reeled it in, and he's got he's in his cocoon mode right now. So we'll catch up with him at some point.
Once the pigskin kicks off in the South, he'll show up again, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll be doing that show again, and at Southern Pigskin. Here we are, still going a full year after we started the show, and very proud of some of the great guests we've had. If you haven't heard it, try to do it. You can listen to us 5 o'clock on Thursday and Friday, or we'll pretty soon be able to get it on BuddyMartinMedia.com too. So we'll be doing that as well.
All right, buddy. We'll see you when you get in here in the 2 o'clock in the second hour.
Look out for the armadillos.
There you go. Buddy Martin looking out for armadillos. We're going to take a break. Come back, wrap up hour number 1 of the Voice of Ocala right here on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant. If you've been hearing about the crowded Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and were worried because you couldn't get in, I've got some good news for you. Seating is now available. While you're there, look up Chef Dave Del Rio. He'll buy you a drink. Now is the time for you to finally see firsthand what your friends are talking about. At Eaton's Beach Sand Bar and Grill, try Chef Dave's tantalizing Louisiana menu. Check out those gorgeous Lakeware sunsets. Eaton's Beach Sand Bar and Grill on beautiful Lakeware. Seating now available. Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source. Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing service, we also offer fence row spraying. Now is the perfect time to get ahead on weed control for an overall aesthetic appearance. Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440 or online at powellgene, Gene, @yahoo.com. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell pasture mowing, 352-629-2440.
Prestige Food Trucks, the world's leading food truck manufacturer, specializing for the startup vendor all the way up to restaurant chains, is a proud sponsor of Food Truck Talks, the weekly show heard every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on The Source, WOCA News Talk, that brings you the inside scoop, ladle, spatula, spoon, fork, and plate from inside of the custom food trucks you see in and around town. Find what makes each food truck unique in its own way, from the food they serve to how it's prepared in their custom manufactured truck. Food Truck Talks, Wednesdays at 9 a.m., sponsored by Prestige Food Trucks.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala, wrapping up hour number 1 on the Voice of Ocala with this little bit of entertainment news. Curtis Jackson, a lot of people know him as the rapper 50 Cent, can no longer afford to take you to the candy shop. That's according to Us Magazine. He appeared in court in Manhattan on yesterday to discuss his finances. He faces a $5 million lawsuit. The musician, famous for rapping about his success and wealth with tracks like Straight to the Bank and I Get Money, but according to his testimony, it was all a lie. The New York Daily News reports that 50 Cent said in his session at the Manhattan Supreme Court that his image is manufactured. He said, "Bro, it's entertainment. It's over-the-top lifestyle. I promoted my music videos on social media as an interview, yet includes nights in swanky clubs, rides in luxury cars, and stacks upon stacks of cash. But none of that's mine. He doesn't own as many of the cars in his arsenal, such as the Bentley and Ferrari. Those cars are rented." He says he borrowed much of his other swag, including the diamond jewelry. He says he only has a few gold chains officially to his name, and went on to explain that he's paid 10 cents per record for his music sales, and took home totals in the low six figures for his recent big screen adventures in Spy and Southpaw. He says, I filed for bankruptcy earlier this month. He said, I need protection. You look like you're doing okay. I got to be frank with you. You get a bullseye pinned on your back. When you're successful and you're publicly known, you become the ideal person for people to have lawsuits for. So Curtis Jackson, better known as the rapper 50 Cent, says he doesn't have all the money and all the luxury items that he acts like he has. He borrows those or rents those to create the persona because that's entertainment. That's what you do. Wow, 10 cent a record, only low six figures. He's only sold probably 30 million records at 10 cent a piece, so that's $3 million. And he's probably only sold, probably a couple of things. Yeah, so I mean, he's hurt. He's broke. I wish I could make low six figures for doing a movie. Yeah, he's broke because somebody's suing him for $5 million. He's trying to show you, I don't have the money. You can't sue me. I'm bankrupt. Yeah, we believe that. Hey, coming up next, Buddy Martin joins us. He'll have Mayor Kent Gwynn on via the phone from Palm Beach. Plus, Jay Musley, City Council President, joins us as well. And then in the 5 o'clock hour, Ira Schofeld of warchant.com joins us to talk about all the issues that are facing the Florida State Seminoles right now in Tallahassee. All that coming up today on the Voice of Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source. Do you remember when summer was a celebration? No schools, no worries, just days packed with your favorite pastime. It was the splendid season you dreamed of all year long. But as you got older and busier, the summer seemed to lose its sparkle. Where did those carefree days go? Well, they're closer than you think. Summer's still sensational at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club, where you can come out and play the grown-up way with our affordable summer memberships. Enjoy our championship golf course celebrating the game's greatest holes, hard-true tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art fitness center. Explore our stately 77,000-square-foot clubhouse and unwind at our relaxing spa. Don't forget the pool! It's a summer unlike any other, and it's yours with a Golden Ocala summer membership. You can call Golden Ocala at 629-6229 to inquire about a summer membership, or you can visit goldenocala.com to learn more. That's goldenocala.com. Central Florida is well known for our love of horses, and here at Seminole Fence Company, we have over 20 years of experience in providing quality fence products and services for farm and residential properties. Let us surround your property with a fence that provides privacy, security, and of course, stunning appeal. Don't wait. Contact us today at 352-208-0959 for a free estimate. Seminole Fence Company, working hard to build fences, working harder to build relationships.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football.
Are you one of those golfers that use the .coms to try to find the best deal available every day of the week? Well, why use a middleman? For $100, you can be a summer member at Pine Oaks of Ocala. And what do you get with your Pine Oaks membership? Well, you get to play all the golf that you want in the afternoons, and all you do is pay the cart fee. $8 for 9 holes or $12 for 18 holes. This is the golf deal of the summer. Don't miss it. That's the $100 summer membership at Pine Oaks of Ocala.
Howdy, RL here for Dairy Queen. Spring is in the air, and so is the smell of meat cooking on our charbroiled grill. You want to treat yourself to one of our most excellent grilled chicken sandwiches or wraps, or maybe a foot-long all-beef chili dog, and wash it down with an Orange Julius fruit smoothie with many real fruit flavors. So come on down to Dairy Queen Silver Springs, where we always treat you like kings and queens.
Ooh, ah, Ouch! Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
It's the annoying feeling when you know you wanted to Google something, but you forgot it as soon as you opened the browser. Now you know it's a thing, Google-heimerness. Life is a buffet. We should take from it what we need and leave the rest. Because when we overcommit, we create a lot of stress. Worrying about the future or past pulls you out of the here and now, but a strong citrus scent helps you focus on what's happening right now.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hi, this is Brad. I want to take a moment to talk about a serious issue. In the next 5 years, the aviation industry is projected to have a shortage of commercial pilots. Now is the time to start training. Ocala Flying Club has started a scholarship for the youth of Marion County ages 17 to 24. The club will donate up to $4,000 towards a pilot's license. This will help get the student on their way to obtaining their commercial pilot license. If this sounds like something you would be interested in, or if you know someone that would be, please contact Ocala Aviation Services, 861-7484.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Dylan Roof, accused of killing 9 black church members in Charleston last month, indicted by a grand jury. Attorney General Loretta Lynch.
Charging him with federal hate crimes and firearms charges for killing and attempting to kill African-American parishioners at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
Prosecutors haven't said if they'll seek the death penalty for the 9 murder counts. Still more information coming out about Mohammed Abdulaziz, the gunman in last week's Chattanooga shootings that left 5 service members dead.
U.S. officials tell Fox News that forensic analysis of tech devices belonging to Abdulaziz paint a picture of being inspired by terror.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manasso. 2 months before his first trip to the U.S., Pope Francis's approval rating among Americans has plummeted. A new Gallup poll points to a decline among conservatives and Roman Catholics. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? At the same time, over 40% of all sports, concert, and theater tickets go unsold. So how come we're all paying so much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, we guarantee you'll save on great sports, concert, and theater tickets. And we're not talking about last-minute nosebleed seats to events you don't want to see, but millions of great seats for the best events, days, weeks, even months in advance. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges ever. There are lots of places to buy tickets, but if you really want to save, then check out ScoreBig.com.
And now save even more at ScoreBig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 1010, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's ScoreBig.com, promo code 1010.
Yes, it's time again for Buddy Martin. Call him up and tell him what you're thinking, but be kind because he's doing the best he can.
I'm just sick of all the amateur stuff, you know? I mean, like, if I'm paying top dollar, I want a little production value, you know? Like some editing, transition, something, some music.
Don't worry, we didn't leave you.
If he's gone, he's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Our bosses say we gotta stay.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
Bow to your sensei. Bow to your sensei.
It's time for the second hour of The Voice of Ocala.
Hoo-ah! You ever come across anything like time travel?
Come on, stick around. It's free.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you still win.
Welcome back to the program. Buddy Martin joining the voice of Ocala in progress. Thanks to Tom Schmitz for carrying us in the first hour. Today is Wednesday, July 22nd. We're in the middle of the summer, actually on the outward half, shall we say, of the summer, and counting down toward football season. And I just can't get enough of Donald Trump.
I watched that whole thing where he gave out the phone number.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was more like a comedy routine of 3.5 minutes than it was somebody running for president.
Yeah, and I got some news on that too, by the way. And let's be honest, it is a comedy routine, and he is playing to an audience which seemingly adores him at this point in time.
Yes.
Now, it remains to be seen how that will eventually play out, but make no mistake about it. And I've been around Donald Trump a little bit. I didn't know him personally that well, but I mean, he would take my call, I'll put it that way, when I lived in New York City. And I can tell you that he's very well liked in New York City. Because why? He's brash, he's loud, he's braggadocious, the things that most New Yorkers like.
Yeah.
You know, and so apparently, and I'm no political analyst here, Tom, and we won't spend too much time on it right now, but most of America is just fed up with the politicians, period. Anybody who's not a politician, even if they're braggadocious and loud and arrogant and whatever they may be, and have a hairpiece looks like Daniel Boone's coonskin
He
hat.
says that's not a hairpiece. That's his real hair.
I call it a hairpiece. It is his real hair. Nonetheless, they're going to get noticed because it's running against these guys, and you and I could run against them. So anyway, speaking of running against, we've got today on the program the mayor and the city councilman. We have not heard from Jay Musley, Councilman Musley, in quite some time. He's going to be in a meeting, and he's going to do his best to join us in the back half of the show to discuss a couple of things, including the T word. Today, I read, I know what's coming, that the city council has agreed to raise the city property taxes.
Yes.
So there you go. And it's what we've been saying on this show for how long? To the county commission and the city council.
Got to raise revenue.
You've got to raise some revenue because you can't take care of the roads and schools and the cops and the firemen and whatever, the current basis. So whether we like it or not, I know my taxes are going to go up about $160 a year, which I'm not too happy about. But, if that's what it requires to do that, that's what it requires.
Well, I appreciate you paying the taxes in the city.
Driving on my street.
So I can have a nicer city. Yeah. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we got all you people, you interlopers covered right. Don't worry. Come on in and eat our food, drink our water, and drive on our streets. It's okay.
Yeah, the county commission yesterday also said that they're going to have a workshop about the sales tax referendum.
And that's the next thing I was going to say is they're going to try to find that money to fund the firemen.
And they said firemen, law enforcement,
public safety, and
infrastructure.
Yeah, we don't know what they mean. Workshop is a buzzword for we don't know what we're doing. We'll go figure something out.
Well, yeah, of course. We're going to talk about it at least,
and we'll let you know we figured it out.
Well, at least they're talking about it now.
About time.
Yeah,
about time. They're not going to win get any bouquets on this program.
No,
for sure.
Although the lesser two evils yesterday was that what they did after they had to wade through people who, in my opinion, and this is just Tom Schmitz's opinion, wasted the county commissioner's time for almost 3 hours.
Yeah, I heard you in the first hour. I will say that I predict a large turnover on the commission. They're, 2 seats up?
2 seats up.
And we'll see what happens. But there's definitely a wind of change in the air. I'm anxious to wait and see if a guy we know really well is going to run. Daniel Owen. He's going to be on the show next Monday. We'll put the question to him. We'll pop it. We'll stick to wood. You think we can get it out of him next Monday?
If Daniel wants to say something, we don't have to stop him from saying something.
Well, but I mean, we have to press him a little bit on this one. But
I've never known if Daniel has something substantive to say. Mm-hmm. I've never known anybody have to press him to get it out of him.
I've been asking for a year. He
may not be running.
Well, I'm just saying, do you think we can get out? I'm going to squeeze him on Monday.
I bet we could get him to say yes or no.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yes or no.
He's not scared of saying yes or no.
Well, you say the odds are, if you had a Vegas line on Daniel Owen running for county commission, what would you say? I'm going to make it 60-40 yes.
After yesterday, witnessing what county commissioners have to go through with that thing yesterday, probably 40-60 no.
So you think it's just too much for him?
I don't think it's too much for him. I just think it's more than – could you imagine about an hour and a half in of Daniel Owen having to sit there and listen to that over and over and over again, the same thing being said by different people.
He did it on the council for a number of years.
He would tell people, look, we've already heard that. Let's move on.
Sometimes he would, or he'd come up with a Ducks controversy
Exactly.
or whatever. By the way, just so I want to mention this in fairness to everybody concerned, we want to make sure people know that we invite other people on the show, not just the ones who happen to be in office and are running. We will get their opponents on the air as well. And the mayor has been opposed in the election, and so has John McLeod, our friend John McLeod.
Yeah.
Matthew Wardell is running against him.
The maestro who we've had on this show numerous times.
Yeah. So
and I guess Gilchrist is running against the mayor.
Yeah, Bill Gilchrist Jr. is running against and Rusty Juergens has filed paperwork, but he apparently withdrew.
Right.
So it's just him. So and John McLeod said James Wardell, Matthew Wardell. That his legal name is Matthew James Wardell. So that's interesting. The conductor for the symphony running for a political office. That doesn't happen too often. So that's what's happening. We'll talk more about.
Can I give you a Captain Obvious real quick?
Sure.
It's breaking news on CNN, the AP, everything right here.
Yeah, the hate crime.
Dylan Roof will face federal hate crime charges.
Yeah, I saw
Captain Obvious.
I was watching when I came in, and I got a bulletin on my AP app, and I said, "Okay, so what did you expect to happen?"
Exactly. That's what I said.
Was there anything else? I mean,
Captain Obvious has showed up.
Yeah.
Dylan Roof to face federal hate crime charges.
I'm having a hard time thinking that's news, but that's okay, it's going to happen and it should happen.
Captain Obvious every now and then will show up.
Yeah, exactly. So, what do you hear? What happened with Lindsey Graham? And what he did regarding a cell phone after Donald Trump gave his number out.
Was that his number? Because Donald Trump said, it's been 3 or 4 years. I don't know if that's his number or not.
It was his number. And there's an interesting video on this, and you can call it up during the break and we'll look at it. But I got to give Lindsey Graham credit. He's pretty dry, boring. But he had a little sense of humor in this one, so you'll see. We'll talk about that coming back. And also coming up in just a few minutes, we'll also get hold of the mayor, hopefully. In fact, we're running behind on him now. So we'll call him as well. So stay tuned to the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Here in Florida, when you're looking to go to the beach, you've got hundreds of options. Theme parks, no shortage of options there either. But when it comes to home insurance, most companies have only one option. Allstate is different. Here in Florida, Allstate agents offer home insurance options from several companies, so they can help you get the coverage that's right for you. And they'll help you save on quality car insurance, too. For starters, safe drivers save 45% with Allstate. So before you settle for just one option, talk to someone with many home and car insurance options. Your local Allstate agent. Are you in good hands?
Hi, this is Kevin McDonald, your local Allstate agent. To get your quote, please call us at 622-2333 or stop by one of our 2 Ocala locations.
Allstate has no financial responsibility to you for any home insurance policy you purchase and would not be responsible for any claims. Allstate does not make any representations or accept liability related to operations of home insurance companies, including but not limited to their financial conditions. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Savings vary.
Hi, this is Buddy Martin. If you have an award or a trophy in your house, there's more than a good chance it came from BJ Trophies Gifts and Awards. At BJ Trophies, Floyd Hirschberger and his staff have a lot more than just trophies. Among the items they specialize in are donor recognition walls and trees, personalized or engraved gifts, cast bronze dedication plaques, wide format digital printing with posters, banners, and signs, and promotional products. Floyd is the official trophy and awards maker for the Voice of Ocala radio show and is North Central Florida's leader in custom recognition programs, corporate awards, industrial engraving, unique gifts, and advertising specialties. When Angie Lewis went shopping for something to award to the winners of her State Farm Good Neighbor Award, shop first at BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Check them out at 1735 Northeast Jacksonville Road on North Magnolia's Miracle Mile, or call them today at 352-732-2249. BJ Trophies Awards and Gifts. Trophies is just our middle name.
Located next door to Silver Spring State Park and a few minutes from historic downtown Ocala, our award-winning Holiday Inn Express Hotel and Suites of Silver Springs is a place to stay for a friendly, memorable, and fun experience. Enjoy our fast and free Wi-Fi, complimentary hot breakfast, and free parking. Whether you're in town for work or play, our friendly staff will make you feel right at home. That's the Holiday Inn Express and Suites of Silver Springs, proud sponsor of Friday night Marion County High School football on WOCA, The Source.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Dr. Terror Eyes, also known as Dr. William Ramsey, will be in the studio. He is a Halloween enthusiast, and if you think that's unusual for July 23rd, well, it's not for him because he starts early.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets will be here doing veterans news as he does every Thursday.
Nadia Hashimi will be on the air speaking about her new book, When the Moon is Low, all about Afghanistan and the Taliban.
And then Dr. Nicholas Gura is coming on. He studies the ancient system of numerology called gematria, divine wisdom and warnings, decoded messages from God.
Co-producer of Kinky Boots, Ronald Fierstein, will be on the air. He'll be speaking about his new book, A Triumph of Genius, Edwin Land, Polaroid, and the Kodak Patent War.
And then from New Mail Medical Center, Dr. Christopher Asandra and Justin Pulliam will be on the air with us talking about men's health issues. All of that plus Fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Cozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Back to the program. This segment used to be Coffee with the Mayor. Now it's having a cold one over the phone with the mayor, or whatever that's called. Of course, a soft drink, as it were.
Absolutely.
Ken Gwynn joins us now from Palm Beach, where he's attending a seminar, some kind of showcase thing or something.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was interested in the news. We know already that you have an opponent, obviously, that's been announced.
Yes.
And then the story that I want to talk about a little bit is the council's vote to raise the city property taxes, which I think those of us who know the condition of certain situations in the city realize something's got to be done. And so I guess they figure they can get some of it by raising the millage points. Property tax is going to go up. It's going to be about, I think, $80 per 100,000 or something like that. So
correct.
People will get raised and haven't been for a year, and there'll be complaints. But hey, you got to have revenue. You can't drive on roads, and you can't have schools, and you can't, not schools so much, but city services without having enough money to pay the people. So
sure. Well, we had our gas tax, and maybe Council President Mussley, I know you're talking to him later on.
Yes.
We had our county commission took our gas tax away, and so we have to go with hat in hand to ask them for money when we need to repair some roads and things like that. So anyway, so it'll help. And there are, I think I was talking to Mayor Ergel the other night. I think we have had no people ever show up for council meeting when the budget's voted on and approved to complain. So, if people want to be heard, they need to come down to council meetings and let their voices be heard.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I know this is the first rollback for. It's been held for the last 8 years, so it's been a while since that happened. And reading Councilman Mussley's comments, which we'll ask him about it, talking about it's going to soften the blow for years to come, and they've held the millage rate so low. And by the way, conversely, I see a story which I'll talk about later about the fact the real estate market now is up, the inventory's down, and there have been more homes sold since last month. So that's a positive sign. We've got to get that going, because even though our economy is not necessarily tied directly to real estate, it is a big factor, isn't it, in what we do.
Sure. Well, you got Monroe Regional Hospital coming on board with about $680,000 in ad valorem tax. You've got FedEx will come on board in 16, 17. So yeah, it'll be good. So all those things help out.
Okay, so any news downtown? We've covered this parking garage forever. That's not something that seems to be a topic that commands interest. Anything else of interest in coming up in the future? Any things you can tell us about new businesses peeking around the corner or revitalization? What do you got for us, Mayor?
Well, I sent Sandy McBride a little text message last night and thanked him and congratulated him for finally getting that property in his hands. And I told him it was almost kind of anticlimactic that that finally happened. We've been talking about it for years and years, and when it happened, it was just almost uneventful. But it was such a big deal for that to happen. I know some people that are buying condos in that place, and it's what we talked about for 13, 14 years is finally starting to happen. So it's nice to see. It'll continue to happen when people start moving in there.
Gosh, it seems like we've talked about it 13 or 14 years. It's only been 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's such a critical piece of what we're trying to do with the downtown project. Like we've said 100 times on this show, we need to see a shovel of dirt turned, and it has happened. Right. Obviously, the structure's already there. It looks like from your report 3 or 4 weeks ago when you set out on a little tour of the place and got a chance to look at it and told us the plans he had for the brownstones, which I found people very interested in. Things are percolating a little bit, and we'll see how that picks things up because meanwhile the Marion Theater is going well. I've got the word today from indirectly from the folks at the Marion Theater that they're really ready to take the name Save the Marion Theater off the website, off the Facebook page, and put Friends of the Marion Theater. So that's kind of a milestone. Small though it may be, still significant, right?
Sure.
Little things like that can really help. I mean, the city's saving some dough right there. Look at what they're saving per month. What were they pumping out? About $6,000 or so a month, $7,000, whatever it was before.
4 or 5.
Yeah, or whatever it was, and well worth it, I might add. I'm glad we did that, but that's money in their pocket now, so they're getting plus they're getting rent for it. So that's a big help thing.
And that was the whole concept when these people move into that. Of course, there'll only be like maybe 36 of them. There's about 18 units, assuming 2 people per unit. But I mean, that's what that was all about: is to have an entertainment venue downtown where they can walk over to Mark's, walk to Harry's, have dinner, walk over to the theater and see a movie and walk back home. So yeah, it'll be good.
What I'm concerned about, Mayor Gwen, is like you are. I'm concerned about if we don't get moving here, towns around us are going to start taking off and stealing our thunder. Already Gainesville just seems to be like they're on fire. We know the big cities, Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, having a building boom. Stuff's happening, businesses moving in. I know we've had some progress, but boy, it feels like we need to jump ahead here and get things done. And I hope this will be a quarter or a half a year where we'll see some progress made on that front, because let's face it, it's very competitive out there right now for businesses, and we need a little strong jump start here to get us going around here, Mayor.
Yeah, we do. And talking to a lot of the mayors around the country, I mean, a lot of these things seem to be pretty simple for a lot of those cities. They just kind of do them. Some of the things that we've talked about seem to take quite some time. I know that I talked to John Zobler about the parking garage, and we've got 3 people that are at or under budget. One of them I really, really like. The other was another one that's okay, and then the other one not so much. But we're doing that, and the still discussions on the chamber site project. So when those things happen, it'll take off. I mean, you don't need to worry. It will happen. It will happen.
All right, now I'm going to ask you to comment on the national scene, which I don't very often, but it's so peculiar that it's like watching a train wreck. You can't take your eyes off of it. And what Donald Trump has done on the plus side is he's certainly gotten the attention of the American public because some of his antics, asinine though they may be at times, and he's changed up the paradigm for presidential candidates. Every time you see him on TV, you almost have to watch because it's like watching a train wreck or something. So, okay, I want to see what he does now, And today, the latest thing is obviously he gave out Lindsey Graham's phone number yesterday, cell phone, and today Lindsey Graham fired back and took his cell phone out. In various ways showed videos of him destroying his cell phone. He put it in the blender. What else, Tom? He finally hit it with a golf club. Finally hit it with a golf club. And his
hit
little
it with
video.
a cinder block.
Yeah, so now the question becomes, is it just pure silliness? And instead of talking about, the border situation, instead of talking about ISIS, et cetera, all of which is serious, but is he not reaching a larger audience now with things like that? And Lindsey Graham, who I'm not a big fan of, pretty smart, getting a little bit of that Trump spotlight on him. What's your take on that?
Well, it's actually silliness. This is a presidential campaign for the most important position in the world, and these gentlemen, and I use that term loosely with Mr. Trump, are making a mockery of that office. Mr. Trump, said the other day, whatever, but he said, I like veterans that weren't captured.
That was stupid.
And my father-in-law was a prisoner of war in Stalag 11B, and of a distinguished flying cross. And he's 11 men now got captured, and so he's telling me that his service didn't matter. Ridiculous. He just insulted every POW that ever was a prisoner of war in any war.
I agree, and it was an asinine thing to do, and I think he's paid a price for that. But explain why he's leading the polls for the Republican nomination.
Because people like to hear people say what they think. But, is why Rush Limbaugh has some of the popularity that he has in that market that he lives in. However, Rush Limbaugh is not in the United States. It's an entertainment show. Running for the president of the United States is not, it's not an entertainment show. Ronald Reagan, who was my most favorite president, got the job done, but he didn't do any of the things that are going on now.
Yeah, well, of course, going viral is a big deal these days, and the new medium we've got now and this part of what gets your votes for the younger people, and like it or not, this traditional way of campaigning is changing. I'm not endorsing Trump, nor do I like him. I'm just saying that if you look at the paradigm for it, you think, okay, what has he done? Is getting himself? How is he getting all this attention besides making an ass out of himself? And so I'll say one thing he's doing. He's running against the establishment. He says politicians shouldn't be president. And you know what? Some people agree with him about that. So there you go.
All right.
Kent, you take care. Have a good trip, and we'll look forward to having coffee with you again next Wednesday. Appreciate your time, Mayor.
I'll be there. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Kent Gwynn.
All right. Bye-bye.
Usually has the coffee with them. On those real estate notes I was talking about, I guess I can cover it on the back half, but I was encouraged that the June market, according to the Star Banner, reported Marion County showed home sales and prices up and inventory down. Good combination. Prices up for people who own homes. If you're buying, maybe not. They say it's a balance, pretty much a balanced deal, that it's really neither a buyer nor a seller's market right now. But the existing home sales in June are up 12.8%, which is good. And we're still climbing out of that deep, dark hole, the Great Recession and anything. A lot of people still hurting out there, and quite frankly, a lot of people's entire life savings are tied up in their homes.
Yes,
and that's an important thing to remember. So, the month supply of inventory is down to 6.0, down from 6.9 in June 2014, edging ever closer to the 5.5 month mark. Realtors consider it a balanced market, favoring neither buyer nor seller. So. All right, coming up in the back half, we hope to talk to the chairman of the City Council, president of the City Council, Jay Musley. If everything goes right, we'll be talking with him about what took place in the meeting this week, something about the taxes being raised. And also in the sports hour, we'll talk a little Seminole football. We'll have our friend Ira Schofel from warchant.com on with us, so be sure and stay tuned. More coming your way right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source. Do you remember when summer was a celebration? You know, no schools, no worries, just days packed with your favorite pastime. It was the splendid season you dreamed of all year long. But as you got older and busier, the summer seemed to lose its sparkle. Where did those carefree days go? Well, they're closer than you think. Summer's still sensational at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club, where you can come out and play the grown-up way with our affordable summer memberships. Enjoy our championship golf course celebrating the game's greatest holes, hard-true tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art fitness center. Explore our stately 77,000 square foot clubhouse and unwind at our relaxing spa. Don't forget the pool! It's a summer unlike any other, and it's yours with a Golden Ocala summer membership. You can call Golden Ocala at 629-6229 to inquire about a summer membership, or you can visit goldenocala.com to learn more. That's goldenocala.com.
Hello, I'm Dawn Lovell, lead event designer and owner at Party Time Rentals. Have you ever wondered what it takes to make an event spectacular? Well, look no further. It's what we do every day. Whether you're hosting an intimate dinner for 10 or a gala for thousands, at Party Time Rentals, we find just the right style and elegance to make your event a success. Our extensive inventory of the finest in chandeliers, tents, crystal, china, and specialty items is featured in our fabulous showroom. Stop by and say hello. It's a great way to get ideas for an event and experience for yourself how you can make your party time special.
Party Time Rentals, located on Southwest 10th Street, just off Route 200 in Ocala, and off Southwest 34th Street in Gainesville. For more information, call 352-629-8858. That's 352-629-8858. The party begins at Party Time.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Dylan Roof, accused of killing 9 black church members in Charleston last month, indicted by a grand jury. Attorney General Loretta Lynch.
Charging him with federal hate crimes and firearms charges for killing and attempting to kill African American parishioners at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
Prosecutors haven't said if they'll seek the death penalty for the 9 murder counts. Still more information coming out about Mohammed Abdulaziz, the gunman in last week's Chattanooga shootings that left 5 service members dead.
U.S. officials tell Fox News that forensic analysis of tech devices belonging to Abdulaziz paint a picture of being inspired by terror.
Fox Radio's Jeff Manazzo. 2 months before his first trip to the U.S., Pope Francis's approval rating among Americans has plummeted. A new Gallup poll points to a decline among conservatives and Roman Catholics. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? At the same time, over 40% of all sports, concert, and theater tickets go unsold. So how come we're all paying so much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, we guarantee you'll save on great sports, concert, and theater tickets. And we're not talking about last-minute nosebleed seats to events you don't want to see, but millions of great seats for the best events, days, weeks, even months in advance. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges ever. There are lots of places to buy tickets, but if you really want to save, then check out ScoreBig.com.
And now save even more at ScoreBig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 1010, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's ScoreBig.com, promo code 1010.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala on a Wednesday. We're endeavoring to reach the president of the City Council, Jay Musley. Talk to him about a variety of topics, including the fact that to make up for the $8 million shortfall in the budget in the general fund, the City Council has agreed on a mix of financial fixes, including raising the city property taxes about 0.80, which I believe comes out to be about $80 per $100,000 a year. So if your home was worth $100,000, it'd be $80 more. Nobody likes taxes. No one likes certainly to have it to have to pay more. But there's clearly, if you followed this, you realize that the situation is we're close to dire straits. So Councilman Musley is in a meeting. He said he might go long. We'll see if we can get him out, but we'll keep trying and see if that can happen. But anyway, so that, of course, in the news and the elections is that this news was Ocala.com. We knew that Mayor Kent Graham was seeking a second term, but he's being opposed by William Gilchrist, Bill Gilchrist, and Councilman McLeod, John McLeod, also in his second term, is being challenged by Matthew Wardell, also known as the maestro or the conductor of the Ocala Symphony Orchestra. Mary Sue Rich automatically won another term. She seems like she just continues to be unopposed. And so no other candidate qualified, and Mary Sue Rich will be back. So someone named Ken Davison filed paperwork early but did not follow through. So that happens quite often, I guess.
You know what? Say what you want. Miss Rich, she's running unopposed. We've had her on the radio before and everything. She is very in tune and very she's very in tune and very quick to make sure her constituents are heard about and heard from in the West Ocala area. She does a good job.
She's been criticized by some people who think, there's some people who just like to criticize people who are older, I being one of those, who like to take shots at people who are, let's say senior citizens and what have you. And people are taking shots at her about that, not to her face, behind her back, but she's been doing it a long time. And obviously her constituency likes what she's doing because she keeps getting elected and nobody's running against her. So
I take shots at you and Gerald Ergel, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, we give shots back to you too. So I'm I'm encouraged on the case of our friend John McLeod. I'm not taking sides on this, but I think it's good when the Matthew Wardells of the world, the younger people, get engaged in politics. We've been preaching that for a long time, 4 years on this show. Get some young people to get involved and change things. And I think that's one. It's going to be a tightly contested race, and John may be a tough guy to beat. But anyway, the point is, I give him kudos for doing that. Let me get to something that's really serious. We've talked about frivolity today on the show. We've talked about, what's happened with Donald Trump and Lindsey Graham and his cell phone, how he hit it with a golf club, and they're having fun back and forth. But when it gets right down to the serious things in politics and things in the world that are really important, this one is right near the top of the chain, food chain, literally. And I know it sounds a lot like closing the barn door after the horse has been stolen. My grandmother's favorite cliche, she'd say, but this is the news. All-day breakfast is one of the top requests from McDonald's customers this year. They may bring it back. They may bring all-day breakfast. Now, here's the thing about McDonald's.
I'm going to turn your microphone
Here's
off.
the deal. If you've ever been to McDonald's trying to grab something at 10:01,
oh, they're militant about not letting you have it.
You ain't getting breakfast.
You forget it.
And I'm thinking, what is so automatic about that?
10:01? You mean 10 o'clock in 3 seconds?
Yeah. You just don't get it. So apparently the people have spoken, and they're adding prep space for the kitchen to make room for all-day breakfast in San Diego and Nashville. So I'm not a huge fan of McDonald's breakfast. There's a lot more places now than it used to be 25 years ago when you're looking for a fast bite of food on the way to work.
Yes.
But nonetheless, did it tick you off when you go and pull up there and you say they say, well, it's closed. It's just 2 minutes after. I'm sorry, sir.
They made a movie, Falling Down. Remember that movie?
I didn't see it.
It had Michael Douglas and Robert Duvall in it, and it's where Michael Douglas goes in and he wants a burger, and they say, I'm sorry, sir, we don't start serving burgers for another 3 minutes. And he's like, but I want a burger. I'm sorry, that's not on our menu. You could get a breakfast sandwich. He said, I don't want a breakfast sandwich. I'm sorry, sir, that's not our policy. And the guy so finally pulls out a Mac 10 and shoots up the place and says, I want a burger. And then they get him his burger. But I'm not saying you should ever do that, but I understand his frustration.
Yeah, that comes kind of a rip-off of the movie 5 Easy Pieces with Jack Nicholson.
It was just like that.
Remember how that went?
Yeah, of course. Well, Falling Down was probably 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when the Jack Nicholson movie was. But
probably 30.
Falling Down, pretty good movie. It's about a guy who gets fired, and he's going through a divorce, and his wife won't let him see his kids because he's got anger problems, and he goes on a rampage through L.A. doing what everything he did in the movie, everybody that he did it to, you were like he's sitting on a rock and a gangbanger comes up and says, that's my rock, you need to pay me for sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Takes out a baseball bat and going to beat him up with it. So, he gets out of that situation. It's one of those movies, but he does the fast food thing where that's not our policy, sir.
5 Easy Pieces, and when he goes to order breakfast and he can't get it, remember? And I think, as I recall, he orders, I don't know what it was, but then he orders, said, just give me the bacon and throw with the bread or whatever it was.
Right, yeah.
And there was one great scene in that movie, and that's Jack Nicholson in the back of a truck playing the piano going down the road. That's one iconic scene I'll never forget. One of my favorite Jack Nicholson movies.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get that out about McDonald's, though, to really bring us back to seriousness.
Balance it out, yeah. And something that I want to make sure I can get across out. By the way, they have a task force studying this, according to Wall Street Journal. It may be launched as soon as October, but the whole breakfast menu will not be available all day. The operators may have to make a difficult decision whether they want their menu to include biscuits or muffins for breakfast or sandwiches, supposedly. So this will be happening. McDonald's will, apparently.
Just as long as the sausage and egg burrito's good. They're all day.
That is good. I must say, I'm not a big fast food.
That's the only thing I eat from McDonald's.
If you need something in a hurry and filling, you can grab and you can eat so it doesn't get all over you.
That sausage and egg burrito is unequaled.
Gosh, you can get 2 of them for like $3 or something.
No, they're $1 a piece.
$1 a piece, yeah. Well, I'm talking about with the coffee.
Yeah.
You get a breakfast for like $4.
why I like those is the only time I use McDonald's, or that Jennifer and I use McDonald's, something like that, is when we're taking a day trip or a road trip or something. You leave early in the morning.
And you just need somebody to stop. You don't want to waste any time having breakfast.
And Jennifer's eating, she'll eat an Egg McMuffin or something. But I always end up, you and I have this in common. If food falls out of any sandwich we're eating, it will find the cleanest spot on the nicest shirt we own.
No doubt about it.
And so the burrito doesn't do that. No, I always get the burritos.
It's really good for drivers like us who are sloppy, and it's pretty good.
It is.
Can you imagine Lori Martin Gregory if she heard this right now?
Oh, she would not be
bragging on the food at McDonald's for breakfast. She would be disowning us. Speaking
of that, so would the doctors from Ayers Therapeutic. They'll be on tomorrow, buddy, at 3:15 from the school and medical offices that they're building in Jamaica. How about that?
How about that? A little breaking news on a friend of yours, not too good in mine, too. Not too good news, and we hope everything's okay. This just moved on the Star banner, Ocala.com. Car owned by Chris Doring crashes. Witnesses say driver left the scene. The story goes on to say an imported luxury sedan registered to University of Florida Football Hall of Famer Chris Doring was involved in a hit-and-run crash in Hale Plantation Sunday, but the Florida Highway Patrol has yet to identify the man who was behind the wheel or his passenger. Witnesses said that somebody called 911 to report that a white 2014 Mercedes E350 convertible had left the roadway at the intersection of Southwest 94th Street and 30th Avenue and struck a patch of bushes. The driver of the vehicle, whose identity has not been determined, tried to free the vehicle by spinning the wheels into the debris, but one of the tires caught fire. Lodgeport County Sheriff's Office and Lodgeport County Fire Rescue were called to the scene. A few minutes later, turned the scene over to Florida Highway Patrol. And it says the Mercedes registered to 42-year-old Christopher Paul Doring of Hale Plantation. We certainly hope Chris is okay, and we hope it wasn't him, but good luck to Chris out there in that situation. I'm glad nobody was apparently hurt. That's the main thing. So all the best.
That's a crazy story.
It is a crazy story, and we wish him the best.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break, come back, see if we can get just a couple minutes with the president of the city council, Jay Munson. He didn't promise he'd be available. He said try. So we'll take a break, come back, find out right here on the Voice of Ocala.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life, from everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Your quality of life is meant to be fully enjoyed each day. The doctors at Ayers Global understand that and strive to provide a quality of life for you that has no equal. Ayers Therapeutic Services combines naturopathic and family medicine to help all your health needs. Diabetic management, hypertension, pain management, and anti-aging are just a few of the services offered by the Ayers family. Call 352-512-0222 today, and Ayers Therapeutic Services will help you begin to understand that better health begins with you.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
Central Florida is well known for our love of horses, and here at Seminole Fence Company, we have over 20 years of experience in providing quality fence products and services for farm and residential properties. Let us surround your property with a fence that provides privacy, security, and of course, stunning appeal. Don't wait. Contact us today at 352-208-0959 for a free estimate. Seminole Fence Company, working hard to build fences, working harder to build relationships.
I think I just heard Tom Schmitz in here, but I turned around and it was some tall, good-looking guy, and it couldn't be him, so I don't know.
Tall and good-looking, that rules me out twice.
I don't mean Joe either. I'm talking about another guy.
Give him a quarter, quick.
Joe is tall.
Yeah. 1 out of 2 is not bad, yeah.
Well, Joe's like us. He's got a face made for radio just like we do.
That's right.
That's why we're in radio, right, Joe?
You got it.
Yeah. How you doing, Joe?
I'm doing fine, buddy. How you doing today?
Going. You know,
made it to hump day.
Hump day. Tom has to say that. What is Tom?
Hump day.
There you go.
All right, good.
That's right. It is. He's an official contract on the show.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he gets paid.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your tongue.
Yeah. We're about to do fun with Joe here, I think.
No.
Joe, of course, is on every day with Robin and Larry on Fun with Joe about noontime. You about quarter, 20 of, 12, something like that.
About 20.
If he'd have paid attention today, he'd have won easily.
Tom wanted to be a doctor in his former life.
Yeah.
He writes the answers down, holds them up to the window.
Yeah.
Problem is you can't read them.
Oh, because of the handwriting, huh?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what he's speaking about.
We were hopeful to get President of the Council, Jay Musley, see if this is him trying to text me, but today on the show, but he's in a meeting and we couldn't, but we still want to get fake or a factoid in. Joe is back for his celebrity appearance.
Oh, here we go.
Have you beaten this guy before in this game?
Once.
Joe, come on, Joe. You're better than that, Joe.
Once every time.
All right, let's go.
4 minutes of devastation coming Joe's way right now.
Yeah, and it's
he just nailing his own coffin just then.
There we go. Number one, truth or Oh, wait, that's the wrong show. Remember that, Joe?
Yeah, we're old enough to remember that.
They play it on the Game Show Network, pal. Reruns.
Yeah, who was the host?
Alan Funt. No, that was
ding, wrong.
Yeah, that was Alan Funt was camera.
Different show.
Alan Funt. Yeah.
Number one, the pinky promise originally indicated that the person who breaks the promise must cut off their pinky finger. Fact.
I have to go with him. Fact.
Both fact? Mm-hmm. Both correct. Very good, gentlemen. You're off to a good start.
Japanese, I think, did that, yeah.
I'm not sure about that. But number two, I swear on my mother's grave, quote unquote, is a term that was initiated by gangster Al Capone.
Fact.
I know it was an Italian thing.
I'm glad you said that, not me, because you're half part Italian. But you're both wrong.
Oh,
I don't know where it came from, but I made it up, so I can't be right.
He made it up.
Anytime I'm telling the truth, people look at me weird. I say, "Look, on my mother's grave."
Yeah. You guys are easy today. All right, number three, seatbelts. Joe, you didn't have those when you
grew
grew
up.
up.
Pain in the
yeah, they're pain in the back.
Seatbelts became mandatory on U.S. cars on March 1st, 1968.
Fact.
False.
Has to be fake, Joe.
Fake.
Joe says fake. Tom says fact. And Tom is correct. It is fact. What's the score, Tom?
Joe's missed twice. I've missed once. By the way, that was a trivia question I asked my people about 4 weeks ago.
Well, say you.
You dog, you.
Hey, you should start guys ahead by one because you're the professional.
Yeah,
you do this for a living.
Terminator.
Number 4, the happier you are, the less sleep you require to function. And by the way, Jay Mustard says call him right now. He says, now he can do it. Yes, right now. A little late. We'll catch him next time. Happy you are, the less sleep you require to function in everyday life.
Fact.
Sadness increases the urge to sleep more. Fake or fact?
Fact.
Both say fact. Both correct. Now, Joe, you got to go opposite to have a chance to tie.
All right, no matter what. You go first then.
Right.
All right, yeah.
More copies of the Quran are sold in Canada than the Holy Bible.
Fact.
You know where I'm going, though. So I go opposite of you. Yes, go ahead.
What is opposite of me?
Fake.
Okay.
It's a tie game. It's a fake. Here it is, the number. Here's the number I want. Don't blurt it out, Joe.
I won't.
Gotta let Tom write his down.
And then
get yours in your head.
Okay. I won't look, Tom.
What percent of the American population has never visited a dentist? What percentage of the American population has never visited a dentist? All right, Joe, you got yours?
Mm-hmm.
What's the percent?
20.
20%. What you got, Tom?
36. Uh-oh. We must be close. He's thinking.
Tom's got it's 40%.
Dang! 40,
Joe,
I can't believe
Joe,
it.
you were this close.
I felt like I was in England with that answer then.
Have you been to West Virginia? Have you been to the mountains of North Carolina?
Yeah, the mountains of North Carolina.
Have you been to Mississippi?
Yeah, I have, matter of fact.
There you go. All right, Joe, any good news for us at the station?
No, we're just chugging along. Glad
we're all getting we're all getting raises.
I'm not building a second floor yet, no.
No second floor yet.
No.
How about the no penthouse?
Well, only in a magazine.
Okay, here we go.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Joe Martone, and thanks to the mayor. We'll get council president, maybe the bar. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Buddy Sports Page, talk a little Seminole football right here on
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Do you experience body aches, joint, or muscle pain all over your body? Does it keep you up at night, interfere with your day, and leave you feeling tired and in pain? You could be suffering from fibromyalgia. Renstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study of investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 18 and 75 who have had widespread body pain or tenderness for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication at no cost. Compensation for time and travel will be provided, and insurance is not necessary to participate. If you experience body aches or suffer from fibromyalgia and would like to find out more information about this fibromyalgia study, please call Renstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Renstar Medical Research, 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Do you have areas that have started sagging or drooping? Is what you're looking at not quite the same as it was years ago? Are there enhancements you've been putting off? Is there serious damage you need fixed? Then call on us, Damage Control Services, when your roof is sagging and the drywall is drooping after a storm, or your home just needs some enhancements. From damage repairs to new construction, Damage Control Services is here to help.
Hi, I'm Leah Caruso with Strive Rehabilitation, inviting you to join me Thursday at 11 a.m. for Health Matters. Ocala Health and Strive have teamed up to bring you the latest information on good health services available to you right here at home. This vital information will help you make informed decisions about your health. So don't forget to join me here at 11 a.m. Thursday. It's news you can use from Ocala Health, Strive, and your friends here at WOCA.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
Your weekends are getting a little retool.
Swear to God, not making a joke.
Check this out. New shows? Check. We are Force. Some new talent? Check. Let's welcome the guys.
Let's get it going.
Arnie Spanier.
Unbelievable.
TJ Reeves.
This is what you get.
Your weekends are on fire. Because that's how exotic it is. We are Force.
What are the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking? Will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Dylan Roof, accused of killing 9 black members of a Charleston, South Carolina church last month, has been indicted on hate crime charges.
Roof, who is white, admitted to police he was the church shooter and had also been found online in photographs posing with Confederate flags and is said to have authored work advocating racial violence.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown. Many lawmakers say the nuclear deal with Iran should have included the release of Americans being held there, while White House spokesman Josh Earnest says
there's no one on the U.S. side who believed that using these American citizens essentially as a bargaining chip in a nuclear negotiation was going to make it more likely that they would be released.
Some lawmakers also upset the UN Security Council endorsed the deal before Congress saw it. On Wall Street, stocks fell after Apple's disappointing sales outlook. The Dow lost 68 points. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? At the same time, over 40% of all sports, concert, and theater tickets go unsold. So how come we're all paying so much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, we guarantee you'll save on great sports, concert, and theater tickets. And we're not talking about last-minute nosebleed seats to events you don't want to see, but millions of great seats for the best events, days, weeks, even months in advance. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges charges ever. There are lots of places to buy tickets, but if you really want to save, then check out scorebig.com.
And now save even more at scorebig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 1010, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's scorebig.com, promo code 1010.
How much time? 30 seconds. I'm on right now. I don't believe you.
Okay. Enough kidding around.
Ho, 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 ho.
And now it's time for the Buddy Martin Sports Page.
He actually had me stay here last night in his gym.
It's like I don't fit in. It's like I don't belong here.
Let's go talk to a couple of guys that never gamble.
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. See, Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put you on the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
And now, here's Buddy.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Buddy Sports Page. Today on the show, we'll begin to, actually continue our talk about college football season, which is emerging now. I've enjoyed the last couple of days watching ESPN and the number of coaches they've had on every day, from Mike and Mike all the way down through Skip and Stephen A. and what have you, and right through Paul Feinbaum. They've had coaches. Left here last night, I turned the radio on. There's Coach Spurrier talking to Paul Feinbaum. And then I watched the Big 12 guys on now talking today. Getting interesting as we talk about it, as so much is not known. But it's fun to talk football this time of season because it's the expectations that we kind of get caught up in. It's fun. I mean, look around the country and see what the storylines are going to be and see how they play out. Last year, none of it turned out to be true, although it did, but certainly nobody saw Ohio State. Speaking of which, for you Buckeye fans, Judy, you listening out there? Today, a confirmation that the head coach of the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes will join our program next Wednesday. I called in a favor, Tom, and he said, only for you, I'll do it.
Yep.
And 5 o'clock we'll have it on the program. If you miss it, we'll probably get it on Southern Pigskin the next day or so. Urban Meyer looking for another national championship, and who knows? We didn't see this thing happening last year. I mean, that 59-0 game against Wisconsin, that was ridiculous.
Wait, they got crushed at home.
They got crushed
by Virginia
Wisconsin
Tech.
Got crushed
by Virginia Tech.
Got
team.
Beat, of course.
Well, but after the game was over, and then when you seen how bad Virginia Tech was last year,
yeah,
crushed is a pretty good word.
Okay, but here's the deal. What does that say? Does it say that they were terrible against Virginia Tech in that game? Or does it say that their coach got them so much better at the end of the year?
The coaching staff got them so much better by the end of the year.
So that's a kudos.
All they had to overcome losing Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback before the season.
And the backup.
Then losing the Heisman Trophy candidate that was the backup because he had worked himself into the Heisman Trophy conversation. And then getting the third guy in to come in. Everybody, when the third guy come in, said,
no way.
Oh, here's the kid that doesn't think he needs to go to class. He's just there to play football.
Yeah, he's got no shot.
And by the way, he plays football pretty well.
Yeah. Also knows who Ronda.
If he'll leave Ronda Rousey alone, he'd be pretty good.
Yeah. So and he looked at times like a first-round draft choice.
He did, and there was talk because he was eligible for the draft because of his age and everything. If he wanted to, he could have come out and been drafted in the first round.
And how in the world did you keep them all there? That's the thing I can't figure.
I have no idea.
I mean, Urban must be giving new cars away or something. I got to say.
So watch it now, easy.
Just kidding. But Donnie, the point is that's amazing. So who will be this year's Ohio State, or will there be this year's Ohio State? And I heard some projections yesterday. Who was it I read? Danny Sheridan. Said he thinks that the SEC champion could well have 3 losses.
I can see that because of the West, how competitive the West is.
I can't see an SEC champion having 3 losses.
Well, think about it, buddy. Can Alabama lose to Auburn?
Yeah, I've counted them up. I can't see an SEC champion. I mean, I can see a team coming out of the West with 2 losses. Maybe. I can't see it happening. I mean, first of all, unless they just go play horrible at the beginning of the year and then beat everybody's left. I don't know. I think if you get to that point, then the SEC champion would have to have a 3-loss Auburn team beating a 1-loss Georgia team, and that would catapult them into the playoffs or whatever. But who knows? You may have – who knows? Maybe you'll have an Ohio State – I don't know. Maybe Notre Dame will be great this year. You know, maybe one of those Big 12 schools.
Ara Parsegian's not coming back.
Yeah,
buddy.
well, I mean, and what about Baylor, TCU? Those are good teams.
No conference championship. Forget about it.
But you had an unusual thing. Everybody was beaten, and nobody was beaten except Ohio State. Those other teams were undefeated.
Right.
And so, how about Florida State? I mean, you know, who's going to be this year's surprise? Your Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. I know you don't really love them, but I mean, they played great at the end of the year. Your former Georgia Southern coach, Paul Johnson.
Right.
What if he gets them ready and they wind up winning the ACC? Some people think Clemson's the best team in the ACC.
Well, let me just go ahead and tell you, Georgia's not going to, because Georgia's going to lose in the SEC. And then in the third week of November, Georgia's going to lose to in-state rival Georgia Southern. So let's just go ahead and tell you right there, the Bulldogs will have at least 2 losses.
All right, let me give you a text that came in. Let me just give you a text that came in.
Uh-huh.
I'll just let you fill in the blank. To you and Tom Schmitz, you got the name of a school. Right. His name is Tom. What school do you think that is?
Oh, University of Southern California.
Not University of South Carolina.
No,
USC is not.
Yeah, University of Southern California will be a nice team this year. They'll lose twice. Oregon will still beat them, and Southern Cal apologists will say it's because they got messed up by Reggie Bush and the probation and all. And
you're just
here's Southern Cal.
You're just trying to yank.
Okay, John Robinson's not coming back to coach them. Tom James, go back and watch ESPNU and watch the games from the '80s and be satisfied.
How about John McKay?
That's a team from the '70s. Yeah, go back and watch those. Be satisfied.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you're just setting up a round table with Tom James. What you're doing?
He probably just swerved and almost ran people off the road in his car.
Let me ask you a question. Were you willing to go down and dirty against Tom James? Who gets the most losses, Southern Cal or Georgia Southern?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So you think Georgia Southern's going to be good again this year?
I believe Georgia. They graduated 3 people off a team that went 8-0.
Have you seen your schedule?
I have seen their schedule.
All right, come talk to me. All right, after you
they play West Virginia. They open up with West Virginia, by the way.
Yeah,
and play Georgia.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, last year they lost.
Over under on them is maybe 8, maybe.
Last year they lost to Georgia Tech by 1 point on a last-second touchdown by Georgia Tech.
Tom, it's a
loss. And they lost to North Carolina State by 2.
It's a loss
in both games.
Doesn't matter. It's a loss.
Yeah, they only lost 3 games last year, went 9-3.
Well, I can say to you, Steve Spurrier's team got beat 3 times when they were up by 14 points in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes to go,
which is a problem.
John Hoke's going to turn that around.
Yeah, well, a man with 13 years NFL experience.
You know what's interesting? What's really interesting is the number of defensive coordinators, and there's been several good stories about who moved around and come back and whatever. Hoke being one of and John Chavis out to LSU and Florida's defensive coordinator came Mississippi State.
Right.
So
the head coach at Florida become the defensive coordinator at Auburn.
Yeah. Right.
Is it safe to say that they may have the best offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator in the SEC on the same football team?
It's possible. Certainly, I think there is not. I mean, look, Gus Malzahn's only been in it for a while. I had to give it to a coach who's been doing it for 30 years. But he is the emerging. He is the next.
Well, not as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator. He's been offensive coordinator a while, hasn't he?
Who?
Gus Malzahn.
Well, he's the head coach.
Right, but I said as an offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator for a while, wasn't
yes, and I said there's a guy. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying he's out. He's the head coach.
Now he is.
The head coach who calls plays, he's as good as anybody. But because of longevity, I won't give it to him yet because Spurrier's been doing it 30 years.
Well, I understand that.
But I think he's really good. And Spurrier has a great respect for him.
How about that defensive coordinator from the Seahawks that's now the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons? How about that guy?
Yes.
He's got a few ties to Gainesville, doesn't he?
Yes. Couldn't get it turned around here, so you wonder. Anyway, interesting times. We'll talk some football. We'll talk today about Florida State and ACC, what's going to happen. I heard Jimbo's press conference. You did too. I heard some people talking about how some of the ACC coaches saying they felt sorry for Jimbo because he took this thing on himself and blamed himself for what happened to his quarterback and his running back. And it was Art Browse talking about it from Big 12, actually. I was saying he really hated to see Jimbo take that on, that all coaches have to deal with this.
Harry S. Truman, buck stops here.
I'm not saying he didn't say he has to take responsibility, but there's a difference in taking responsibility and it really being your fault, And I'm not giving Jimbo any slack on this. He has to take responsibility. This is a fellow coach in another conference saying, I hate to see a coach like Jimbo Fisher take this on as his fault when we all know as coaches we can't monitor everything they do. Did you see the latest restriction by Spurrier?
No.
You'll love this one. Okay. Now Steve has some rules, and he says that I had to get a kick out of this one. One of them is if you hit a woman, you're gone, which is a good rule.
Great rule.
And he was talking. I guess he was on Mike and Mike. I missed this yesterday, and talked about some of the rules he has there. And they asked him about, hitting women, whatever. He says that's one of the rules he has. And he said they asked him about drugs, and he said, "Listen to this one now. This is beauty." Spurrier decided to drop this little nugget. It says, "You can smoke pot and get lectured on it. 3 pots and you're finished. And we have our rules about other things. three pots and you're finished." Sounds like a kitchen.
By the way, speaking of Spurrier, I'm watching today on ESPN2 this morning, early on ESPN2.
Mm-hmm.
They got first take, retake. It's a replay of yesterday's show, I guess.
Right.
I'm watching Steve Spurrier. And lo and behold, who's he mentioned but his good friend Buddy Martin that's writing a book with him.
That's pretty nice. Skip Bayless asked him about it. And he said, yeah, I'm doing a book. And he did mention it.
Said Buddy Martin, who's wrote the book with Terry Bradshaw, wrote a Urban Meyer book.
He did say a good friend, too.
Yeah,
which
I
appreciate
that. Yeah. So there you were. So in the last week, you've been on Paul Feinbaum's show nationally.
Yeah.
And then you got an honorable mention yesterday on First Take.
Yeah, and now I get to do the show with you.
Well, see, and that's the highlight of your week, doing the show with me. No question about it.
It's big time. This is the big time. We went way past the break, by the way. I'll just shoot the ball.
We'll come back with headlines later.
All right, take a break. Return. Tom S. Headlines right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
There's a car accident in this country every 5 seconds. That's why Allstate thinks it's time for an entirely different kind of car insurance, with features like accident forgiveness and a safe driving bonus. It's called Your Choice Auto, and it's only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
You deserve better. Sign up for Your Choice Auto from Allstate. Call the McDonald Agency today at 622-2333.
Features are optional and subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Insurance, Northbrook, Illinois. Do you remember when summer was a celebration? You know, no schools, no worries, just days packed with your favorite pastime. It was the splendid season you dreamed of all year long. But as you got older and busier, the summer seemed to lose its sparkle. Where did those carefree days go? Well, they're closer than you think. Summer's still sensational at Golden Ocala Golf and Equestrian Club, where you can come out and play the grown-up way with our affordable summer memberships. Enjoy our championship golf course celebrating the game's greatest holes, hard-true tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art fitness center. Explore our stately 77,000-square-foot clubhouse and unwind at our relaxing spa. Don't forget the pool! It's a summer unlike any other, and it's yours with a Golden Ocala summer membership. You can call Golden Ocala at 629-6229 to inquire about a summer membership, or you can visit goldenocala.com to learn more. That's goldenocala.com.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name. Right on the southwestern corner of the square sits one of the finest dining establishments in Florida, Mark's Prime Steakhouse and Seafood Restaurant. Mark's offers big city dining amenities in a charming and small town setting. It's a rare treat to experience both the ambiance and the exquisite cuisine in a friendly atmosphere. Ocala's finest restaurant serves the finest beef, the freshest seafood, premium wines, and naturally fresh vegetables. From valet parking to splendid service, Mark's offers the complete package. Check it out today. Mark's Prime Seafood and Steakhouse Restaurant.
Need a mailbox rental but need more information? Remember Personal Service Center, 789-6683. How does $10 a month sound with just a 3-month commitment? Remember Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Mention WOCA and the setup fee is waived. Personal Service Center will email or text notifications to you when your packages arrive. Even scan mail so you never actually have to pick it up. Now that's service. Personal Service Center, 789-6683. Located on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street, Ocala. Look for the yellow signs.
Are you in need of custom screen printing, embroidery, or promotional items? Then look no further and come visit the brand new Legacy Team Sales. LTS is conveniently located off 17th Street next to Armstrong Homes in beautiful Ocala. We offer the best prices and highest quality products for your company, team, school, or nonprofit. Whether looking for screen printed shirts, embroidered polos, or travel team uniforms, you'll be sure to find it at Legacy Team Sales. Come visit our new 27,000 square foot facility. Our friendly and knowledgeable sales staff will assist you in every part of your custom purchase. LTS carries the hottest brands in the industry like Under Armour, Russell, Mizuno, Asics, Badger Sports, Gildan, Pacific, Ogio, and many more. At LTS, screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
It's the annoying feeling when you know you wanted to Google something, but you forgot it as soon as you opened the browser. Now you know it's a thing, Google-heimerness. Life is a buffet. We should take from it what we need and leave the rest. Because when we overcommit, we create a lot of stress. Worrying about the future or past pulls you out of the here and now, but a strong citrus scent helps you focus on what's happening right now.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Welcome back to Buddy's Sports Page. Let's go right to the headlines. And the biggest headline of the day for me, Buddy, I know you've been worried about this. HBO says it struck a multi-year, multi-platform deal with multifaceted Bill Simmons, formerly of ESPN.
I want to talk about that. I got that subject matter down to talk about the whole ESPN thing. We're continuing saga, and that's one of them where he's going.
Right. Under the deal, which begins in October, HBO will be Simmons' exclusive television home. Mm-hmm. He'll host a weekly talk show premiering next year. It will feature stories and guests from across the sports and cultural landscapes. So, Bill Simmons doing that. I don't know if you saw this earlier, though. In Virginia Beach, Virginia, Tennessee Titans wide receiver Justin Hunter has been granted bond by a Virginia judge on Tuesday, a day after turning himself into authorities in his hometown on a charge of malicious wounding. It's a charge I've never heard of before, buddy. The charge stems from a late-night fight at the Sandbar Raw Bar in Virginia Beach's Oceanfront Resort during the July 4th weekend. Commonwealth attorney Wendy Alexander said Hunter started the fight on July 3rd when he interrupted a conversation a man was having with someone else. After a heated exchange, Hunter punched a man in the face twice. A melee ensued and multiple people began fighting. Alexander said the man who Hunter originally punched was bent over and spitting out blood on the sidewalk when Hunter walked up and sucker punched him again before jumping into a waiting vehicle. So, looks like the 4th of July and the NFL just don't mix. People getting their hands blown off and stuff.
Yeah.
People getting
a lot
arrested.
of beer, a lot of testosterone, whatever.
So in a question of who blinked first, buddy, the Tennessee Titans, this according to the AP, have announced they've signed quarterback Marcus Mariota to a contract, the final NFL first-round pick to be signed this year. The Titans said, we're glad to have the deal with Marcus done. I'd like to thank both Marcus and his representatives for their diligence in working with us to finalize his contract. We're confident that Marcus will be under contract before training camp. We look forward to him starting his career on time with his teammates when we open camp next week. That's a deal that had to get done, but what took so long, buddy? This is something I don't understand, because everybody's slotted now under the collective bargaining agreement. What took so long here? He wasn't going to make any more money than slotted for him to make as a number 2 overall pick.
Well, there's other things. There's guaranteed money. There's other little perks that go with the contract, So it's not just always the amount of money. It's also how it's paid. It's a lot of things you have to resolve, and agents are notorious about doing that. So I don't know the particulars of this contract, but this has gotten to me. I'll bet you, I haven't looked at one, I'll bet you NFL contract is about this thick, and I'm holding up about an inch and a half now on an NFL player. All the things they got now with lawyers, it's got to be like.
The only thing more confusing than an NFL contract probably is the tax code.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
They said that the reason it took so long, it came down to offset language. In short, adding offset language protects teams from having to pay out the full guaranteed portion of a player's contract if they happen to decide not to pick up the final year of a contract. So it's all about money, I guess. And finally, with off-the-field issues overshadowing his program once again, Florida State coach Jimbo Fisher said the Seminoles are stepping up their process of educating players. He said it's like coaching. What you learn is don't take anything for granted. Try to cover as many things from A to Z as you possibly can. You wouldn't think you'd have to say don't hit a woman, but you do. And we'll continue to do that. We'll do it even in greater force now to educate our guys about not doing it and how to avoid those situations totally. And hopefully they'll listen. So that you got a good point there. Coach can only go so far. The young men eventually have to be held responsible.
Well, I heard a really smart guy say this recently. What they should do is have an NCAA rule that requires all athletes and every part of their scholarship and their curriculum, they have to do an hour credit a week to a class about violence, domestic violence, et cetera, as part of their grade, and they have to make a C or better in that class to be eligible. Oh, wait a minute. That's what I said.
You did say that. You know what, though? And I watched, I don't know if you've seen Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel this week or not.
Not this week, no.
But they did a thing on, do you know where this is even more prevalent than the NFL or college football?
Hockey?
No. Mixed martial arts. The UFC right now.
Yeah, I guess so.
The UFC right now has under contract like 7 different people that have had felony convictions for domestic abuse. And Dana White says, hey, they've served their time, and they're.
Well, I mean, violence is her sport. I imagine Ronda Rousey has a conviction until you never know. She could take on 5 guys and knock them all out. Hey, I want to get this in for the break. I've been critical of this guy, and I've admitted that I used to like him a lot, and I don't care for him as much as I used to, but he's still talented. Colin Cowherd's leaving, we know. We mentioned Bill Simmons, Colin Cowherd. Now others are following, apparently. He did a classic thing. He gave his, on the show, he made a statement. He missed the network show on Monday and Tuesday. Did you read the statement?
You mean when he gave his version of what happened?
No, let me read it to you.
Yeah.
He said, it's Colin Cowherd. Yes, I'm leaving ESPN. It's been unbelievable. I don't want to get melancholy here. It's amicable. I'm on the air today. That was today, I guess. Talking about it. That tells you the relationship I have with this company and with my bosses who are friends for life. A little over 10 years ago, I was a local radio guy, and Tony Kornheiser was amazing. He's a brilliant man, a brilliant writer, a media icon that was leaving. And they could have picked 1 million guys out of New York or L.A. or Chicago or Dallas, and many applied. It was a good job. I was told at the time it was the best syndicated radio job opening in sports history of the business. And they chose me. From a small market, nobody had heard of me. ESPN had guts. They had courage. They rolled the dice. A guy flew in from Portland. We got a rare snowstorm. He was stuck there for 4 days. John McConnell listened to me, and he recommended me. It's been the best 10 years of my life.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, he was in Portland, Oregon then, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
He had left from Tampa, went to Portland, Oregon?
Yeah, he'd been gone from Tampa for a while, yeah. And so going out with some class is always good. I wish you the best.
Never burn the bridge.
No. I mean, why would you at this point in time, especially with a big, powerful company
unless you're
like
Keith
that.
Oberman, because they're not bringing you back a third time.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, you know our friend Jeff Driscoll?
Yes.
Well, it's been officially announced by the head coach of Louisiana Tech.
He's the backup.
Skip Holtz says he will start out. He'll finish his career as a starter. He's going to start.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, like we didn't know that. Anyway, fifth-year senior, Driscoll and redshirt freshman redshirt junior, Ryan Higgins shared the reps with the first team throughout the spring practice. Holtz opted not to name a starter, but after further evaluation of performance from spring practice, the coaching staff decided on Driscoll.
So Terry Bradshaw to Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah, how about that? Well, I wish him the best. He's a good kid. He really is. And
he is a nice kid.
It's unfortunate that something happened to him. He just lost all of his confidence, you know? And in sports, particularly in that position, certain positions that are worse than others, when a pitcher loses, when a quarterback, when a golfer, they lose their composure and confidence,
they're done.
They're done.
Done. I mean, we saw the Wendy's High School All-American quarterback of the country. We got to see him right here at Trinity Catholic. Mm-hmm. No more promise than John Brantley IV held in his hands as a quarterback. And by the time his time was done at Florida, I don't even think he liked the game of football a whole lot.
Well, if you got hit like he did, would you?
Well, it's a very good point.
He got hammered. That Alabama game up there was brutal, and offensive line was not doing a good job protecting. A matter of fact, we need to get Johnny Brantley on the show, not John, the third.
Oh, we need to get the Brantley the fourth, the one that's making money.
Yeah, the good-looking one.
Yeah, the good-looking one.
Take a break, come back. On the other side, we'll have Ira Schofield talking to 7-0 football right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
If you've been hearing about the crowd at Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill and were worried because you couldn't get in, I've got some good news for you. Seating is now available. While you're there, look up Chef Dave Del Rio. He'll buy you a drink. Now is the time for you to finally see firsthand what your friends are talking about. At Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill, try Chef Dave's tantalizing Louisiana menu. Check out those gorgeous Lake Weir sunsets. Eaton's Beach Sandbar and Grill on beautiful Lake Weir. Seating now available. Whenever you're searching for an attorney, you want somebody with knowledge who has a commitment to our community and our state. Such is the case with Daniel L. Hightower, PA lawyer, in everything from car and other motor vehicle accidents, work accidents, personal injury, and wrongful death cases. Daniel L. Hightower also handles Social Security disability and bankruptcy. Call him today at 352-629-7777 or check out danhightower.com. Daniel L. Hightower, fighting for accident victim justice since 1976. Do you experience body aches, joint, or muscle pain all over your body? Does it keep you up at night, interfere with your day, and leave you feeling tired and in pain? You could be suffering from fibromyalgia. Renstar Medical Research in Ocala is conducting a research study of investigational medication for individuals between the ages of 18 and 75 who have had widespread body pain or tenderness for at least 3 months. Qualified participants will receive study-related medical care and investigational medication at no cost. Compensation for time and travel will be provided, and insurance is not necessary to participate. If you experience body aches or suffer from fibromyalgia and would like to find out more information about this fibromyalgia study, please call Renstar Medical Research in Ocala at 352-629-5800. That's Renstar Medical Research, 352-629-5800. Renstar Medical Research, seeking tomorrow's answers to the health questions of today.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. Dylan Roof, accused of killing 9 black members of a Charleston, South Carolina church last month, has been indicted on hate crime charges.
Roof, who is white, admitted to police he was the church shooter and had also been found online in photographs posing with Confederate flags and is said to have authored work advocating racial violence.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown. Many lawmakers say the nuclear deal with Iran should have included the release of Americans being held there, while White House spokesman Josh Earnest says
there's no one on the U.S. side who believed that using these American citizens essentially as a bargaining chip in a nuclear negotiation was going to make it more likely that they would be released.
Some lawmakers also upset the UN Security Council endorsed the deal before Congress saw it. On Wall Street, stocks fell after Apple's disappointing sales outlook. The Dow lost 68 points. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Did you know that the average cost for a family of 4 to attend a professional baseball game is over $200? At the same time, over 40% of all sports, concert, and theater tickets go unsold. So how come we're all paying so much when so many seats go empty? I'm Adam Canner, founder of ScoreBig.com. We found a way to work directly with teams and venues to get their unsold seats and pass the huge savings on to you. On ScoreBig.com, we guarantee you'll save on great sports, concert, and theater tickets. And we're not talking about last-minute nosebleed seats to events you don't want to see, but millions of great seats for the best events, days, weeks, even months in advance. On ScoreBig.com, when you successfully name a ticket price, on average, you'll save over 33% below box office price each time you buy, with no added fees or shipping charges ever. There are lots of places to buy tickets, but if you really want to save, then check out ScoreBig.com.
And now save even more at ScoreBig.com. Click on the radio mic and enter code 1010, and we'll take an additional $20 off your ticket purchase. That's ScoreBig.com, promo code 1010.
If you're anything like I was, the thought of getting older was the last thing on your mind. But here we are. For me, it started slowly. The lack of energy, never being in the mood, and when I was, I could never perform at my best. I tried the pills and other treatments with minimal results, and all but given up on my sex life. Then I found the doctors at New Male Medical Center. Wow, they made a new male out of me. Feel like I'm 25 again. I have renewed vigor, so much more energy, and no longer worry about my performance. New Male treated me like my situation was one of a kind, with a custom treatment plan that really works. I feel great. They can create one for you too. It does not matter if you suffer from low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, or just want to last longer. New Male will help you.
Call New Male Medical Center today at 352-404-4779. 352-404-4779. That's 352-404-4779. It will change your life. 352-404-4779.
On the next AM Ocala Live, Dr. Terror Eyes, also known as Dr. William Ramsey, will be in the studio. He is a Halloween enthusiast, and if you think that's unusual for July 23rd, well, it's not for him because he starts early.
News Bites, the hottest news and current events served bite-sized.
And then Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets will be here doing veterans news as he does every Thursday.
Nadia Hashimi will be on the air speaking about her new book, When the Moon is Low, all about Afghanistan and the Taliban.
And then Dr. Nicholas Gura is coming on. He studies the ancient system of numerology called gematria, divine wisdom and warnings, decoded messages from God.
Co-producer of Kinky Boots, Ronald Fierstein, will be on the air. He'll be speaking about his new book, A Triumph of Genius, Edwin Land, Polaroid, and the Kodak Patent War.
And then from New Male Medical Center, Dr. Christopher Asandra and Justin Pulliam will be on the air with us talking about men's health issues. All of that plus fun with Joe on the next AM Ocala Live right here on The Source, WOCA 96.3 FM.
1370 AM.
Time now to speak with the managing editor of WarChant.com, who covers Florida State football and Florida State sports year-round. He's getting ready to see what the Seminoles can do this year and the problems facing Coach Jimbo Fisher. He talked about some in the ACC Media Days. And Ira Schofeld joins us now on Southern Pigskin tonight. Ira, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Well, I love this time of year because I love getting cranked up on football, and you do too. And all we can do is just sort of make up stuff during the summer, and this is the police blotter. And then now we got some actual comments to go off of. And Jimbo Fisher, some coaches said in ACC Media Days this week, he was a little hard on himself, taking the full-out blame for what happened to his players in Tallahassee. Did you get that? Did you get that from him?
I think he does. He reminds me a lot of Bobby Bowden, actually, in the sense that, I think he's got the same personality trait to where they feel like, when the players, they're so worried about if the players mess up and they have to kick them off the team, what's going to happen to them? I mean, Coach Bowden used to talk about that all the time, and I think Jimbo Fisher was very much the same way, and I think he was really disappointed that DeAndre Johnson had to be kicked off the team, but I think he also understood that couldn't be tolerated. And so, I think from that standpoint, I think that's one way. And then the other side of it is, I think people at Florida State, the fan base, and also the administration is kind of challenging him to make sure the program is doing everything it needs to do to kind of at least make sure it's not creating a culture where these types of things, the players think they're going to be okay.
Well, there's a couple of sides to this, and coaches, I've known them for many, many years, and I feel sorry for them sometime, although I'm not too sorry when I look at their paychecks. But I will say this. I've known some really fine coaches who had the interest of the players at in their hearts, without question. Would give them anything off their back, out of their pockets they could do. It was legal, and loved the kids and the best they could who had player betrayal. The players just flatly betrayed them, and got in trouble, embarrassed the program. And yet I've also known these coaches who've gone the extra mile. And you say, well, why did I just kick the guy off whenever he does something wrong? Well, as coaches will tell you, a lot of these kids come from an environment that right off the bat is combustible. They grow up, a lot of them in neighborhoods that are not safe. They're threatened all the time in terms of their own lives. They learn to be aggressive in their behavior. They find sports as an outlet, a way to get themselves some maybe some money someday and turn their lives around. And they get into a college and where they're expected to perform at a high level, and testosterone starts flowing, and then things happen, and they make mistakes. How many times do you allow them to make mistakes? And I'll give you this as an example. Steve Spurrier said this week, asked on Mike and Mike about rules he had. Of course, he says if you hit a woman, you're gone. And then he says also, if you smoke marijuana, you're going to get lectured for it. 3 pots and you're out. I had not heard that one before. My point is only the coaches have rules, and you got to be a little lenient at times depending on circumstances. You've been around this a long time. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think that's the fine line. I think there probably are some coaches who don't really care that much about them as players. I think there probably are that, but I think that's the vast minority. I think the majority of coaches go into it because they love the game, they love the players, they love the camaraderie, and they feel like it's one way they can contribute to helping some of these kids. But it's a fine line though, because if you look back at Jimbo's tenure here, some of his best players have been kicked off the team. Preston Parker, he adopted Preston Parker from Bobby Bowden's staff, and Preston was already here when Jimbo became head coach, when Jimbo was offensive coordinator. Jimbo loved Preston Parker. His kids would wear Preston Parker's jersey to practices in games, and Preston Parker got in trouble he had a 3 strikes you're out type of deal. He got kicked off the team. Greg Reed was one of Jimbo's first big recruits. Was a star on this team.
What a good-looking prospect, too. Greg Reed looked like he was going to be world-class.
Oh, yeah, big time. I remember in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl when he knocked out Lattimore from South Carolina. Yeah, he was a big-time player, and Jimbo Fisher loved him. His kids loved him. They were, Greg Reed, his kids would hang out with Greg Reed all the time, and Greg Reed got kicked out of school for breaking rules three times. And there are other guys, Herman Fortson, a receiver, and I think on the one side, and then you would hear stories later after those guys left, Greg Reed particularly, where Jimbo Fisher and his family would, offer support, maybe send money, send gear, do different things to help those guys out in finding their way. So I do think that the affection's true and genuine. But then once you get into violent crimes, at that point it's out of the coach's hands. And I think that's the message he's been telling the team, and I think that's the message the president of the university has told the team, that, Jimbo is a player's coach. He's going to get your back when he can. But if it's a violent crime and they know you committed a violent crime, there's nothing Jimbo Fisher or any head coach probably can do for you.
Yeah, and he said in his quote directly from Pinehurst, just like it is anywhere else in the country, you as a head coach take responsibility. You continue to educate. You hope they don't make mistakes. And when they do, you punish and adjust and continue to educate them so they don't do it again. I'm a proponent of this. There's some things worse than others. And domestic violence is probably the top of the food chain in terms of worst. I think right off the bat, it's incumbent upon the NCAA, the conference, and the school to have education tied into a curriculum of scholarship athletes, where, let's just say arbitrary number, 1 hour a week of class on domestic violence and on violence in general. In my opinion, if they want to do something about it, this is a way they can do this and make players accountable for going to that class and making a good score. That would be the way to me. Otherwise, you're reacting and trying to do something after the problem. What do you think of that idea?
Yeah, I think it's got to be twofold. I think that's one big part of it, and that's what Florida State is trying to do. They're actually talking about starting a course as early as next semester where they're going to require football players to go to it and learn about those types of things and conflict resolution, how to respect women, a bunch of different issues. And then, but I think on the other side of it is you have to have the firm whip in terms of, the discipline, in terms of, you have to be able to say, look, you're gone. Or I think DeAndre Johnson being dismissed from the team, I think that's going to send a message. The education is very important, and I think that's one half of it. But the other half of it is you have to be willing to say, that's enough, you're gone. And because that sends a message to the other guys that, look, that's not going to be tolerated. And I think a lot of times when you look at these kids coming up from where they come up from, being superstars when they're 10 years old and being coddled through school and pushed through school, they think they can do what they want to do, and especially when they get to a big-time school. And I think that could be a wake-up call as well. So I think you're right on the education part, but I think it's probably a twofold approach.
Yeah, good point. I've been saying that for about 3 months around here, and maybe they were listening to my program. I don't know. I'm just saying. But here's the deal. The Dalvin Cook situation is a little mystifying. We don't know much about it other than what we've heard released by other people, eyewitnesses, the police report, etc. There are a lot of rumors flying around, and I know you're chasing them like everybody else, but one of them is, our producer Tom Schmitz came upon this one, that there was a lineup in which the woman picks out Dalvin Cook, but really admitted that she didn't know who it was. I don't know if that's accurate. Have you heard about that at all?
No, not particularly. I mean, the impression that we've kind of been led to believe is that that night she didn't know who any of them were, and then over the next, but she knew they were football players. She said They had told them they were football players. She and her family, I think, got on social media, started looking through Facebook pages of the football players who had a similar description. She did describe the guy on the phone call as having dreadlocks. So that kind of narrowed it down some. And she started looking through the players' pages and seeing who had that kind of hairstyle. Dalvin Cook does, and that's who she identified later, and then identified to the police. So I think she thinks it was Dalvin Cook, and it may have been. But like you said, there are a lot of conflicting statements, and the big difference so far, whereas contradicting the DeAndre Johnson situation, is DeAndre admitted right away to FSU that there was contact, he pushed or hit the girl. It wasn't until they saw the video they saw how bad it was.
Yeah, the video kind of did him in there. There's no question. I've seen the video. That's Ray Rice all over again.
Whereas Dalvin Cook has denied touching anybody.
Right, and let's see how that turns out. And I don't mean in any way to disparage or demonize the young lady at all, because that's not the way to go here. You can't.
Sure.
We know about those stories and what's happened with women over the years. But let's see how that plays out, because you have to. Now, a couple of football questions here. Who would be starting at running back if Dalvin Cook is not there?
They still have Mario Pender, who's a junior, and a couple of years before Dalvin came to FSU, he was supposed to be the next big thing out of Fort Myers. He very highly touted recruit. He had a lot of issues that kind of kept him off the field. He had some academic issues that kept him out for a year. He was injured for a year. He played some last year and looked really good, and then got injured again. He would be the starter. He's a junior. He's a really talented guy, super fast, one of the fastest guys on the team. But he's not. The question is, how durable is he? He's a little smaller, and so there's questions about whether or not he could be a guy that could carry the ball 20 times a game.
Well, the quarterback situation is interesting because the guy listed as third string is obviously not going to be third string. It doesn't sound like that Sean McGuire will be the starting quarterback. Have you heard anybody talk about Everett Golson? Has anybody seen him throw? What can you tell us about Everett Golson, and why wouldn't he be the starting quarterback?
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to have him be the starter to start off. Out of respect for Sean McGuire and out of respect for J.J. Cosentino, both of whom have been in the system for a couple of years. So I think that's legitimate. I think he will start out at third team, but I think most people expect he's going to move up the depth chart pretty quickly. And if he doesn't get the starting job by the end of preseason camp. I would be shocked if he didn't have it a couple of games into the season. But I think he's a talented guy. We've heard really good things about how he's worked hard in the off season. He's been at FSU now for about a month. He reported about a month ago with some other of the other incoming freshmen, and he's out there at 7-on-7 drills, working with Sean McGuire, and putting in the work and trying to gain relationships with his teammates. But those workouts, aren't open, so I haven't actually seen him throw yet.
All right, final question for the managing editor of WarChant.com, Ira Schofel. Ira, a lot of people think FSU's got a chance to do it again. Clemson's getting some run. If I ask you about the divisional winners in the ACC, who would you pick right now?
Yeah, the media picked Clemson overwhelmingly yesterday at ACC kickoff, but I think I would go with Florida State just because I don't believe in Clemson that much. I think Florida State's got some problems. They've got a lot of inexperience. There's going to be some issues they have to resolve. But I think Clemson's got a lot of problems too. I don't think Clemson's going to be quite what people think because they did lose so much from that defense, and they also lost their offensive coordinator, Chad Morris, who's now the head coach at SMU. And so I think that game is at Clemson, where Clemson historically has had Florida State's number. So it's going to be tough for Florida State to win there. But I think the Atlantic Division is pretty open. I wouldn't be surprised if both of those two teams lost a couple of games during the season.
Great stuff as always from Ira Schofel, WarChant.com. Thanks, Ira. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Take a break. We'll turn. We'll wrap it up right here on Buddy Sports Page.
1370 AM, 96.3 FM. We're live and local. The Source.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And so is State Farm agent Angie Lewis, working hard to serve her community as a citizen and insurance agent. Angie wants to help you as you adjust your insurance needs to your life. From everything to helping educate your teen driver to protecting your family against everyday risk. She wants to change the way you perceive insurance by developing relationships with her clients, which is why Angie and her staff are proud to be a part of so many good causes in Ocala. In turn, she has chosen to single out those who step up as leaders. Each month on the Voice of Ocala, Angie spotlights a good neighbor, saluting those who give exceptional service or do random acts of kindness to others. For this, Angie was written up in State Farm's National Magazine. Angie also supports local businesses with a regular Biz Buzz.
Hi, I'm State Farm agent Angie Lewis. Come see me and my team for all your insurance and financial needs in the beautiful downtown historic district, 416 East Fort King Street, or call 291-2444.
Need a car? Need financing? Need somebody to cut through the red tape and send you rolling down the highway? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Got great credit and just prefer a quality pre-owned car at a fair price from somebody you can trust? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Want to avoid high pressure to feel appreciated and be able to choose from a wide selection of AutoCheck and Carfax certified vehicles? Prestige Auto Sales is the place to go. Prestige Auto Sales in Ocala and Bellevue. Prestige, it's all there in our name.
Are you looking for a durable farm fence to keep your horses enclosed or a beautiful vinyl fence to give that finishing touch to your home? Seminole Fence has over 20 years of experience in providing quality fence products and services for farm and residential properties. Let them surround your property with a fence that provides privacy, security, and stunning appeal. Don't wait. Contact them today at 352-208-0959 for a free estimate. Seminole Fence, working hard to build fences and harder to build relationships.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Hi, Danny Werfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more waiting, hassles, or stop signs. You can even apply online. With a strong financial team behind you, you can enjoy great rates and fast approvals.
It's all about personalized service and a streamlined process.
Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion. brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
We can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, join me every Monday at 10 for auto repair with personal care here on The Source.
Of course you do.
Welcome back to the Voice of Ocala. Buddy Martin, when you were talking to Ira Schofeld just then, the one glaring thing when you asked him about the discrepancy on how the young lady picked Dalvin Cook out to say it was Dalvin Cook, the first thing that, and I'd heard this story already, but the first thing that I'm bothered with, and I have no love lost for Florida State, by the way, but the first thing that bothered me about this is her and her family went on Facebook and started looking at Facebook pages of football players, and they were looking for the football players with dreadlocks. To me, that's a horrible identification, in my opinion. I mean, that leaves a whole lot for interpretation. Well, that's Dalvin Cook. Well, I've heard that name, Dalvin Cook. He must be pretty good. Well,
that's
that kind of looks like him.
That's profiling, right?
I mean, does it not sound like that? A good lawyer can make that case, no problem, I think. And I think we get caught up sometimes in, well, we got video of the first guy punching the girl in the bar. There's Johnson punching the guy in the bar. There's no doubt about that. Now, 4 days later, well, we heard Dalvin Cook punched a girl too, and she picked him out of a lineup. But they didn't say it was a lineup that was created by her and her family just perusing Facebook pages. You hear lineup the way it was reported. I'm thinking 6 photos, and they ask which one was it, and she picks it out of a police lineup. But now Ira Schofeld says, no, it looks like her and her family were perusing Facebook pages of Florida State players trying to find the one that looked like who hit her.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that plays out. But, again, I want to be careful about not destroying the credibility of the woman.
No, I understand that.
All right, just a quick note here. I see Warner Brothers announced the other day LeBron James and a Space Jam sequel. So he's following the steps of other famous basketball players whose name Space Jam was. I want to thank our guest today, by the way. You just heard one of the best reporters on Florida State football that we've ever had, Ira Schofeld. Of course, early in the program, our thanks to the mayor, Kent Gwynn. He'll be back in studio next week. And on behalf of my broadcast partner, Tom Schmitz, I am Buddy Martin, wishing you a great night, everybody.
Are you one of those golfers that use the .coms to try to find the best deal available every day of the week? Well, why use a middleman? For $100, you can be a summer member at Pine Oaks of Ocala. And what do you get with your Pine Oaks membership? Well, you get to play all the golf that you want in the afternoons, and all you do is pay the cart fee. $8 for 9 holes or $12 for 18 holes. This is the golf deal of the summer. Don't miss it. That's the $100 summer membership at Pine Oaks of Ocala.
Hello, I'm Tom Schmitz, here to tell you about Ocus, a great resource for any business and a proud partner of the CEP. Ocus offers your business radically new technology called Next Generation Websites. Sites that do not wear out, they automatically adapt to new technology like smartphones, tablets, and the next big thing. Why pay for technology that starts becoming obsolete the moment you buy it? With Ocus, there is so much more. Built into the Ocus platform is an unmatched array of business solutions adaptable to any business. Ocus is a superb superb example that cutting-edge technology can grow and prosper in Marion County. And I should know because they handle my website, ktforfun.com. Ocala has assisted numerous companies in Marion County that have succeeded online. You can learn more by visiting them online at ocala.com. That's OCOOS.com, or drop by their downtown Ocala location at 116 South Magnolia Avenue. Find out how Ocala can provide your business with everything you need to succeed online.
Are you in the process of planning your wedding reception? Or are you planning that birthday party for someone special? Or maybe you're just looking to throw a party for yourself? Are you in charge of this year's company outing and looking for something fresh and fun to do? Well, KT Entertainment is your answer to all those questions. We provide music, trivia, and karaoke for everybody's enjoyment. If you would like to get in touch with KT Entertainment and find out about our competitive prices,